Me too.
I'm trying to be a podcaster.
All right.
Yeah.
We're live.
So Daniela, what do you want to be when you grow up?
One of those like really responsible adults that have their life together. That seem
Yeah,
to have everything so planned out and know what they're doing. I still need to find
man,
an adult for some things.
that's crazy. So a lot has happened these last 8 9 days.
Yeah. Oh,
Exciting
right.
stuff.
That's right. We recorded on Friday, didn't we? Or is it Saturday? I don't
Yeah,
even
it's
remember.
it's it's definitely been a minute. Let me let the world know that we are live now, especially on the Twitters. But yeah, so I'm excited for things to come. Like I'm really hyped. I'm excited, fully excited, excited for us, excited for you, excited for the show and all the things that we are prepping to do in the next couple of months. Episode 390 of the show radio. Daniela, what is up?
A lot of exciting things have happened this week, and I can't wait till we talk about it. We might have seen like this I don't know, this movie that some people might have heard about has a cat.
Yeah, it's a cat. It's a big black cat.
And there's some conventions, there's just a couple things.
A couple of things. No, it's definitely exciting stuff. So let's start at the top. I guess catch me up on the last couple of days without the big black cat and convention stuff. We can start there.
I don't know. I don't sleep apparently. I don't know when I should sleep. I've had 4 days of 12-hour shifts, and they started at noon and they were ending at midnight, which meant I wasn't getting home till 1 a.m. I wasn't getting into bed till 3, 4 o'clock a.m. And it was just weird and bizarre because the only time I got to see my son was when he was going to school. So I would wake up again at around 6 a.m. to get my little sun time in and go back to sleep again for a little while just to start it all over. It's got my internal clock all weird because I was napping up until like maybe half an hour ago. And I'm like, wait, I gotta get up. I gotta get up. Because, like, in my mind, I
Yep.
know, like, everything was right and everything was said on the show. So I'm like, okay, I can take a little power nap.
It's been a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
Days have been shifting, as we spoke about in 389, and now we're at 390 recording on Sunday, regular time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So we're
Mhm.
definitely happy about that. Hopefully, we can stay on this schedule for a while. Any major changes as far as the show is concerned, we'll definitely tweet that out and announce that in advance. So, and the little events thing on Twitch, I guess, as I'm thinking about it, the event setup stuff on Twitch is pretty neat. I dig that. I don't think we've used it. We've used it before, but I don't think we've used it as much. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing around with that a little bit more. That's neat stuff. But this week's been interesting. There were supposed to be three services today. It ended up being only two because the third one was canceled. So that allowed me to come back to the Bat Cave a little bit earlier and pretty much set up the stuff with you for episode 390. And another thing I noticed too, we're not doing the intro as we've done it in the past. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, we kind of just winged it. I think I noticed that on the last one because I was going back
Yeah.
and I was listening to some of the shows. I'm like, what happened to our intro?
Yeah, because the thing is, I didn't want it to be, well, it's not scripted, right? To some
Hmm.
degree, it's something that over time you kind of memorize or whatever. So I didn't want it to be like that every single time when we did the intro. So I decided to just jump right into it and make it a little bit more organic in regards to the conversation. So I think that's maybe we'll go back to it, maybe not. Who knows? We'll work it out.
I wonder if anybody's noticed.
I don't know. It's definitely an interesting thing. But 390. All the links and stuff we'll mention at the end of the show. First thing I definitely want to mention is the we can go right into the technology stuff. Absolutely into the technology stuff. I saw something about the Amazon's Poly WordPress plugin, and that's an interesting thing. It's a I think it's a voice, it's a text to voice thing that they're working on. Apparently, they had a version of it before. It's a lifelike text to speech service by Amazon, and that's really, really exciting stuff. I did see that. Also saw a post on how to create a bootable Ubuntu USB in Windows. I don't think that's new. I guess it's just and a reminder that you can actually do that. Any comments on those two things?
Strangely enough, I kind of been looking for a text to speech thing.
Okay.
It's only more for brainstorming things because I feel when I have to stop to really write out my thoughts, I realize when I write, I guess it's kind of a shorthand, but if I needed somebody to read my notes, I have like whole 2 3 words missing in between because my mind isn't just translating to my fingertips fast enough. So like they're not even whole sentences, but I see them as that. And I kind of been I think the other one I tried was like dragon speech or something like that. I It does not work very well for me. And I don't know, I've been told I have a lisp sometimes, which I believe that. I do
Really?
know. Yeah, sometimes I do. Like I have to um W and R words. I have a hard time with saying them if they're consecutive. Like I slow down and I know mentally I slow down and I don't notice it anymore. So when I say white rabbit, it's slow like that. But if I have to continue my speech, it comes out as white rabbit.
That's pretty funny. That's
But
pretty funny.
I don't know a lisp any other way except that when it comes to text or speech to text, it just like I didn't say those words. Like I don't use the one on my phone anymore because text messages are coming out so incredibly wrong. I'm like, that's not what I said. And I have to delete and retype it out. It's like I might as well type it myself. But
Wow.
I
That's
want something to just be able to just talk openly and free flow like my thoughts and ideas I have just as for notes.
okay. Okay. So I definitely want to say what's up, Try. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, I'm going to try the plugin. I don't know how soon because the site is running really, really well right now. And I don't know if I want to make any changes that quickly. I had drafts that I had to delete, so I did all those things. Unnecessary plugins that were just there, deleted those. So it's running really well. And even recently did redid the SEO stuff on the website to make sure that everything that I want to go out is going out effectively. And another thing I did check is the amount of hits that your review got when you did the Avermedia stuff. Yo, that thing got a lot of hits, a lot,
I'm
and
actually
that was
working on
encouraging.
another too.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
hard to write about a
Yeah.
keyboard.
Oh, you can do
Yeah,
that.
the kinesis one.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake. You can do that. But yeah, so I think that was really dope. Seeing that and exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. So 390. I am excited about 390 because there is a lot to talk about. So we even changed the format, I guess, on our side when we're looking at the notes. And I think I just created more work for me, really at the end of the day, that's what I'm seeing right now in relation to the notes. But it is all good. We also did see how to delete unused data tables in WordPress, since we're WordPress people over here. And last but not least, in this section for technology, transform your Android phone into a Pixel 2 esque unit with a particular app that you can download. I don't think you can download it exactly on the Android App Store. It's an offshoot APK type thing. I did use it at my own risk, and it transformed my phone into a beautiful Piscal Pixel, whatever that is, Pixel 2 esque type OS, in terms of the way the menus move and stuff like that. So I'm really digging that on my Galaxy 6 S6, which is still a phone that is a go-to once in a while. I'm using it again. Sometimes I put the Echo one down and I pick up the Galaxy S6 and I'm back on it, and it's a solid device.
I don't have that luxury. I don't have a Google phone.
You
Oh
have an
wait, no,
Android
wait.
phone.
I completely misread that. Android phone. I can. Except that I'm not impressed by the Google Pixel phone.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
I
it's mixed emotions on that one.
I like my S7. I like what my S7 does. I don't think I'm gonna upgrade for like at least another year. I don't I feel a purpose because, like I said, I had the S. Man, I don't remember the phone I had before this. It was another Galaxy phone though. Four? Was it the four?
So you
But I
went
had
from
that
the
for
4
good
to the
stuff.
7?
Yes.
Okay. That's a big jump.
Well, I'm not one of those people who just buy the newest latest phones the moment it comes out. Like I know somebody who does. And he's like buying a phone straight out every 2 or 3 months. Like who does that? Come on. He's like, "Oh, have you heard
Nah.
about the Razer phone?" He bought the Razer phone. "Oh, did you hear about this new phone?" He bought that phone. I was like, "Stop. Stop."
Just because?
I guess he'd be a true technophile. Like he has to have the newest, latest, and greatest, no matter what it is. And he goes way overboard. And it's not just phones. Some of the things I'm like totally jealous about. He has this really nice, huge, curved monitor that is
Mm.
pretty much um, two monitors. So he has this. It's a single monitor that can be sectioned off into two. I don't remember exactly which curved monitor it is. I was just totally jealous by it, so I just like I don't even want to. I don't even want to know.
You don't even want to know. I don't want to have anything to do with you right now because
Because I'm jealous about your monitor.
that's all good. Technology stuff. That is pretty much it. A couple of things that I definitely want to mention on this episode. We want to highlight Black Panther review. We're going to talk about that. Also, some McDonald's conversations if you like Happy Meals. We're going to talk about that as well as Chris Rock's stand-up special Tambourine. That was interesting. Was able to check that out. What else? PlayStation has some stuff going on. Google may be coming out with a streaming service. Some backwards compatibility games added to the Xbox roster. A little Spyro the Dragon action, maybe Blanca, Secret of Mana, E3 reactions. All right, so that's pretty much a good portion of the show. Any comments or thoughts before we go into it, Daniela?
Batman. The Batman's on the list.
Oh yeah, Batman. Batman's definitely on the list. So excited about that as well because that looks really, really good. I think that's coming out in April or something like that. But we'll
May.
talk about that for
Well,
sure.
yeah, April
May.
Digital. We'll get to that.
April Digital May. Okay, so deals. Okay, so one of the things that I considered adding to the sections for the show is deals. When we see deals and stuff like that, two of the things that I did see is one thing that allows you to get deals, free games or discounted games, and the other thing is the Logitech MX Master 2S. I think it was $20 off. I'm gonna have the links in the show notes for that. I have TTT to find free and discounted games. That link is also going to be in the show notes as well. Daniela, any comments on those things?
Uh, no, but I have a comment for Try, who's in chat right now. He says, "No spoilers on Black Cat movie, please." All
No
right,
spoilers
so
on Black Cat movie. Is it too soon?
well, yeah, because it's been 2 days.
Is it only 2 days? It feels like
Yeah.
forever.
Um.
Mm.
Try is sitting at home right now. Like, I see both your faces. You're going to spoil it for me. We actually talked about this. We
Hmm.
did. We did mention this like yesterday about it. And on most
Okay.
cases,
So
yes. Go ahead, Andrew.
no, so the we can speak around we can talk about how the movie made us feel, right? We can go that route,
Yeah, we
and
can
that
do that.
doesn't necessarily
Don't leave.
spoil
It's
the
okay.
experience.
We will dance around it. We will not spoil it for you like that. We'll talk about our feelings.
We'll talk about our feelings. How did the movie make us feel? I'll definitely talk about my experience where I saw it, demographics of the theater, how it was not sold out where I was, even though I bought the tickets a couple of days in advance just to make sure. We'll talk about all that stuff, and we'll talk about, you know, we'll go around it
We'll be
as much as we
cautious.
can. But the experience is one that everyone should go check out. Anybody. And I've heard, campaigns and GoFundMe's, and people are doing GoFundMe's for people to actually bring a whole bunch of kids to check out the movie. I think that's a fantastic thing, inspiring many individuals in areas of technology and STEM and pride of culture and all those things. We can talk about all that stuff around it.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
so that's cool. So we'll work
All
it
right.
out that way. So hopefully that helps and it makes you feel really really dope that we're not gonna spoil the movie itself. But it was really good and it's a must see for anybody listening and watching right now. So that's what's going on with that. Entertainment news. McDonald's plans to before I go. Anything before we
No,
go? McDonald's plans to have all U.S. Happy Meals reduced to 600 calories by June this year. I think they're gonna remove the burger or something like that. Something.
it's a cheeseburger, right, or something.
So,
I
yeah,
don't.
it's a cheeseburger. Okay, so thoughts on that before I give you mine?
My last Happy Meal was 2 days ago.
Was it really? What'd you get? What'd you get in the bag?
6-piece chicken nuggets.
Okay. What else did you get?
Well, it comes with the 6-piece nuggets, and then it had the fries, and it had yogurt, which kind of threw me off. Like, yogurt. I forgot what the other option was.
Okay.
Um, you know what? Thinking about it, it was probably was apple slices because I remember ordering Happy Meal once and it had apple slices in it, but this one didn't. And then some weird toy with stickers
Okay.
and
So they
faces.
still come with toys. That's the happy part, right?
Yeah, sometimes I just get a Happy Meal because of the toy that it might come with. I think the last one was Transformers that I really, really wanted.
So now, is the toy like good?
Sometimes it's not. I think the last good one I got was this Hello Kitty, and it was like a sticker dispenser, and it smelled like apple pie.
Hmm.
Don't judge me over
Okay.
there.
I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking what angle I want to play with this in my mind. Okay, so before I forget, live streaming on IG was fun. I think I did that yesterday. I was able to talk to Khalif for a hot second, and also had a conversation with new Otaku 5000, and that was dope. Dope conversation. Instagram is pretty good, and pretty cool. And the connection was dope. It was straight. So I definitely want to mention that. Shout outs to them for hanging out in the IG. I like the impromptu stuff. I had a random individual join that, and he said, "Continue doing what you're doing." So that was encouraging. It was random, but I did appreciate that. So yeah, so IG streaming impromptu. I think you should do those once in a while, Danielle. I think it'd be fun.
Sometimes, maybe. Maybe. I'll try. I don't know.
One
It's
of
so
those
weird
things.
and so bizarre to do live stuff on those platforms for me. I don't know why. Like I stream, that's fine. I can talk. But I have to like have it super thought out about what I want to say. If not, I'm like What am I
Yeah,
gonna
but see, that's the
do?
thing. You don't have to be super thought out, though. That's what makes it fun. There are people like waiting right now. Once you like go live on IG, they'll just pop up and say what's up. And I bet you'll have a great time. I almost guarantee it. One of those things. But McDonald's plans to have. Okay, so this Happy Meal stuff was interesting. So I do not eat fast food as much as I used to.
That's good.
Really, I barely have any burgers out. If anything, I'll get the burger pack from the grocery store, and then I'll bring it back and make it. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a McDonald's burger. Maybe a Burger King one not too long ago, maybe a couple of months back. But outside of that, that is few and far in between. So I don't think that's affecting me as much as far as the 600 calories that they're gearing up to for the month of June. You know what else happens in the month of June, right, Daniela?
E3.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. One of those good things. Now, does McDonald's have a different taste in Hawaii? Seems it would be better there, Daniela.
I wouldn't say it has a different taste. Granted that when I go on vacations, I don't actually go to McDonald's on when I leave the state. But I don't think it has a different taste. We have a different menu in a way. I believe we share the same menu with Guam. Why are you opening up Creative Cloud? Stay over here. Um, let's see. Our breakfast menu, we actually have rice on our menu, and we have Simon or ramen, whatever you guys call it. And like this morning, this is so bad. So I should take on your thing about no fast foods and stuff like that because see, this morning I had a Portuguese egg breakfast platter, which is Portuguese sausage, scrambled eggs, and rice. And that's what we have in Hawaii.
And that was from where?
McDonald's.
What?
Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
that was from McDonald's. So
Was it good?
sorry. I have like this stuff that's popping up and I don't know why. Yeah, it's really good.
Creative
I really like
Cloud.
it. Is Creative Cloud. It's like, I don't know why you're popping up right now. It's like it heard you earlier, like, hey, can we change these borders? And Adobe's like, hey, I can do that for you right
But
now.
I said next week, and it's like, no, how about now? We're not doing it now. Next week. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the McDonald's thing. Interesting stuff there. YouTube TV announced recently a significant expansion of its channel lineup. A couple of things, adding the Turner, NBA TV, and the MLB Network. And I think the price is going to go from 35, which is what it was or is now, to $40. And the individuals who've had it for 35 will be grandfathered in based on what I was reading according to that news bit. Um, One of the things I want to say about YouTube TV, I was able to try it during the Super Bowl weekend. It is absolutely amazing. I think it was very seamless experience for me. I had no challenges or issues using it, so I really enjoyed that. And I think $40 for a YouTube product that works really well, and the fact that they're considering to add additional networks or channel lineups in it to make it even more robust, I think is a good deal. And $40 really lines up with the other products as well because I think PlayStation View is $39.99. Any comments on those things, Daniela?
Still not convinced. Especially coming from me. I'm not a sports person.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
I'm not against them. I just don't really pay attention to them to know. You can literally make up names and on fake teams, and I probably would believe you because I don't know.
Well, like if I said the Clippers, would you believe me?
Okay, I know Clippers. I know the popular ones that people like to bandwagon and jump and like all of a sudden because they do really really well.
Well, I know it's not the Knicks, right? Because they don't do well.
Oh, I don't know.
You're like, is this a test? Are you testing me? No, the Knicks are not doing well, right? The New York Knicks are not doing well. Golden State Warriors are doing well. Cleveland are okay. Houston Rockets are, I think, leading their division. I think Boston's up there, pretty decent. And who else is doing good? San Antonio Spurs, they're good, pretty good. I like their coach because he's very outspoken about cultural issues from different demographics. I like him, Greg Popovich, good guy in my opinion. But yeah, so many other awesome teams out there. So that's what's going on with that. Michael Fassbender will star in Kung Fury, the future length sequel to David Sandberg's cult short film. Any comments on those things?
Did you watch Kung Fury on YouTube?
No, I saw stuff for it, but I don't know. I Is it good?
It's it's something.
What is the something though?
It's really bizarre. Um, it's
Define bizarre.
it's good. It's a very well produced YouTube video that you just have to watch it to understand. There's
So it's not.
technology, there's time
It's
travels,
on
there's.
YouTube and it's not on a movie itself.
Am I thinking of the right thing here? I gotta go back because I was so sure that that's what this was, Kung Fury, and they're like making it into some huge film that.
Well, we
Okay,
have
yes, it is
Google.
because David Hasselhoff is in it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is worth the watch?
Yes, it's about 30 so odd minutes, and it's just watch it.
Kung Fury 8.1 out of 10 according to IMDb 2015. That's pretty good score actually.
It is, especially
Really
for
really
a
good score.
YouTube created. It was created for YouTube. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's about this time cop who time travels on a keyboard with dinosaurs and Vikings and Nazis and David Hasselhoff.
What?
Yes.
That sounds crazy actually.
So if you have the time, go and watch it. It's really bizarre. And but it's good at the same time. It's so out there, it's good. And it's not like it's so bad it's good. It's just so outside of your cookie cutter of what a good film is that
Hmm.
you can't help but just love it.
Very, very interesting. Sony could have owned the rights to almost every Marvel character, but turned it down decades ago. Any comments on that? That was interesting.
I'm sure that they're really disappointed in themselves right now.
Yeah, because they didn't believe anyone would be interested in comics except for Spider-Man. So I think they do own the Spider-Man rights, and outside of that, that is it. I think.
Well, considering, well, you have to think about and consider how many decades ago and what actual superhero movies were out. You had Superman, you had Batman, and I don't. I think even producing those, it was either really good or it was really really bad. Not everybody liked all of the Batmans. I didn't even like all of the Batmans because it was just really cheesy. It was really poorly done. So having to adhere to that, and they also didn't realize the cult culture of you know geeks and gamers and how much they were like. So they probably would be like, yeah, we're not even gonna waste our money. Who likes this? Who reads comic books? And then all of our entertainment and our gaming and everything that just boomed, and the rest is history. So I can't exactly blame them for like kind of turning it down because they didn't have a really good, I guess, understanding of the demographic that they would be catering to. But
Right, right, right.
I'm not grateful that they didn't pick it up. It's more of I'm grateful that they didn't try. Because as a kid, I think the only good superhero movies I watched was Batman. And even then, again, like Batman and Robin was bad. I'm sorry, that's bad.
Batman and Robin was bad.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Which one? I'm trying to think which one was Batman and Robin. The only one I that really stood out for me as far as Batman is concerned is the animated series because that was like I think that was before its time. That was really really good.
That was the one where like everybody likes to quote like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he played Freeze. And you had Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
It's the dopest Batman ever.
I don't know, not to me it was.
What? Okay, we're gonna leave this one. I don't like where this is going. We're gonna go. Okay, so Glee and American Horror Story creator Ryan Murphy has signed a 5-year deal with Netflix, reported to be worth $300 million. Any comments on those things?
Netflix is taking over the world with Amazon and Google.
Yeah, and we're okay with that, right?
Yes, yes and no. Kind of makes me
Okay,
nervous in a way because
because
it's kind of like how like digital stores are online. Almost everybody orders stuff online, and you have stores that are closing down, stores that are going, bankrupt. Do you feel that at some point live TV networks will be going that way? Like they won't even have, I guess, your traditional cable live TV. They're just gonna have their own streaming service because how many people are cutting the cord? And they're going to these streaming services like Netflix, and then you have people who are now creating TV series for Netflix, for Amazon, for Hulu, and not only that, look at Cloverfield Paradox. They didn't even make their movie. Their last movie didn't even come to theaters. It's just like we're going to go straight to Netflix.
but streaming is it though. Streaming is where everything is happening. Like even a particular album that I was looking at recently on a post on a website, they were like, "Hey, stream it here," and the album just came out. I think that's where everything is.
Yeah, that's
I got and
where.
I definitely got to tell you about my movie experience. I can't wait to get to that part, but I know we definitely have a lot to talk about. But I see what you're saying, absolutely, and even now when I'm accessing like TNTs and all those different channels, I have to log into. I have to have the app right, and then prove that I can have access to local TV with whatever account that I have, whether it's a Verizon thing or Optimum Online or whatever it is. And then once I verify that I have access to those things, then the app unlocks for me to watch the live TV for that particular app, be it the TNT or the CBS or whatever it is. And I think that even going into the App Store now, pretty much all the major channels are there, including like the TVs and all those other channels. So if you have access to, if you're if you're paying over 150 plus dollars for a service because of triple play or whatever that you want to call that, all those channels and apps are available to you on your iPhones and Androids. But if you don't want to do that and you want to do a small package, the $35, $40 thing, you still get a good decent amount of what people actually watch instead of all the, you know, 200 channels that you never look at, but you're still paying for. It's an interesting thing.
It's a weird. The only reason I started thinking about this is that there's an actor, Rahul Cooley, who's from iZombie, and one of his, I think it was an Instagram post that I saw of his. Then he's like, "Hey, appreciate you guys checking out, past episodes on Netflix, blah blah blah. But don't forget, you can watch us live on I forget what network they're on. We have a new episode tonight." It's like, is that because your numbers are dropping?
Hmm.
Or is it because I'll admit that I waited till the season, or the last season, which I think was season 3, was done and was available on Netflix to watch it. I
Okay.
love the show. I don't want it to go away, but a lot of those things of continuation and re-signing for X amount of like seasons, all based on like your live viewer numbers still. They're not counting about how many people are watching you online or downloading your episode later.
Unless you're getting money every time they stream it.
Yeah, possibly. But then if they're only watching your last season and not your current season,
Right.
does that affect their contracts?
That all depends on the deal that was signed. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Whatever they get,
Yeah, we don't know.
royalties whenever they do that, which is the cool thing about it. So maybe like even the recent, I think 2 tracks that Drake dropped. I think he got so much streams right away because it was readily available on your Spotify's and those things. And I think Spotify's is not necessarily setting itself up to be, but in regards to individuals who are podcasting, the numbers coming out from like the Lipsons and those guys, they say that Spotify is already placing itself as the number 2 in terms of the numbers. Lipson being number 1 in terms of, I'm sorry, iTunes being number 1 in terms of like the numbers. Lipson is right. Spotify is right behind them in regards to where people are getting hits and new listeners and stuff like that. So if people are discounting Spotify as a primary player because they just want to stick on one platform, whether that's your Apple podcast or whatever it is, you're losing out because streaming is streaming and everybody's benefiting from it, from every side of entertainment, which is a beautiful thing, actually.
See.
It's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch the way these things are changing the landscape of the way we consume content. That's what's going on with that. 300 million. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Just a little bit.
It's a little bit. LeBron, shut up and dribble. That's not what we're looking at right now. That's No, that's next. I thought that was interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But NBA star LeBron James is producing a remake of the 1990 comedy House Party. Any comments on that?
I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Are you gonna go back and watch it?
I might. I might. I think I have to introduce my son to it. I don't know, at some point. I remember I think I was around his age when I watched it the
Mm.
first time.
Mm.
Liked it.
What year was that? I don't even remember what year that was.
Gotta
Let's
be
look.
90s, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be 90s. House Party. House Party.
Yeah, Kid and
Yeah.
Play try. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Budget was 2.5 million. 1990. Wow, that was a long time ago. That feels like forever.
They had like 2 or 3 movies, right?
That feels like forever. Kid and Play. Yeah, it tries that Kid and Play. Yeah, Kid and Play, man. That's a long time ago. Absolutely, a long time ago. It feels like it at least. So LeBron is going to do the remake. That's going to be interesting to see exactly how that plays out. Okay. So the next thing was an interesting bit, and I'm getting bits and pieces of it because I haven't fully looked into the whole conversation surrounding the LeBron James shut up and dribble, that whole thing. So let me see where I want to go with this. All right. Because it seems like if you're an expert at one thing, you shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion on something else. That's what that says to me. That's one thing it says to me because this is layered, the shut up and dribble thing. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that.
I think when somebody is known for one thing for so long and that's all he's ever really done or centered around, I think people forget that there's extra layers to a person. And I'm going to use this because I don't really know LeBron James or what his history is like. I know he plays basketball. I don't know what else he
He's
does.
really good at it. He's been good at it ever since he was like, I don't know, most of his life, maybe 15 plus. He's been a star.
Well, I know that much. I know he's just really really good at it. I cannot
Right.
tell you what team he plays on or teams he's played on
He's
before,
on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's an
but
all-star. I think he's making his 15th all-star appearance this weekend. Yeah, like he's amazing. He's probably top 2 top. He's in the top 3 4 players right now, legendary.
well, when let's see, the part I'm trying to get to is so he's known for all of those things. Nobody knows what he does in his off time. They don't know what his political beliefs are or his opinions about things or what he's trying to do and improve. And the person I can think of for an example, a prime example for this, not necessarily a athlete, Snoop Dogg. So I've been watching his latest documentary, which is Snoop Coach, which is on Netflix. Really, really good if you haven't watched it. But all he's ever known for is being a rapper, smoking a lot of weed, having dope concerts, being, Snoop Dogg. I didn't know that he ran a Snoop's youth football league and that he is a youth football coach. And he does things for his community, he does things for these kids, and he travels with them, and he wants to get them out of, these are at-risk kids. These aren't rich kids from Beverly Hills or anything like that. These are kids from neighborhoods he grew up in, neighborhoods that he knew growing up, and he wants to improve their lives. Nobody would ever know that unless he didn't tell him that. And so if he made a comment about, what, California, LA, or the nation should be doing for their youth, who's going to believe him? Nobody. They're gonna be like, no, shut up, Snoop. Just go and make your rap and smoke your weed. Nobody
Smoke some
cares.
weed.
But that's what I mean is that no, everybody is centered about what you're known for. So if you
Yeah.
tried to say an opinion, because you wouldn't know those things, they would say the same comment, and that's how I take it for LeBron James. So, or
Okay.
really any really famous person, if you're just known for one thing and that's all you do, and nobody knows what you do behind the scenes, what you do with your money, what you do to put back into your community, or how you protest, or if you're an activist, nobody really knows. They're just gonna be like, "What do you know? You're just an actress. You're just a singer. Just a basketball player. You don't know anything." But we don't. They
Okay.
forget that people have layers. People's not like you want to believe that these rich people are just self-centered and they only care about themselves and money, but they really isn't. That really isn't always the case. So that's how I take that. I'm not gonna just
Okay.
tell. Yeah, I don't know where you're going.
I'm thinking. So so the same statement that this lady made, right? Shut up and dribble. In the context of LeBron being one of the greatest basketball players still playing to date. Wouldn't couldn't we say the same thing for the president of the United States?
Oh my goodness. Okay, you had to go and bring that up.
Because technically speaking, and for the historians who are listening to this, I don't know much about politics. But what I do understand is there's a process before you even get elected to be, you know, a person that's going to run for and get accepted to the office of the president of the United States. There's a process to that. There is a political process. There are things that you need to have in your experience that, from what I understand, the current president of the United States does not have any of those experience brackets to even be where he is, but he's there. So I thought it was interesting that the comment the lady made about someone who is an expert in his field versus when we look at someone who is running, this office who is not even an expert in the field that they are in right now. I thought it was just interesting, just looking at it from that standpoint. So you have that. So the other part about it is The shut up and dribble, just isolates or minimizes, like you said, the voice of the individual who is the who's doing. Okay, so basketball is entertaining, and he's feeding his family with his abilities and his gifts, but you're saying he's nothing more than just an entertainer. And there's other layers of racial barriers there in relation to that whole conversation. And then I think she said something to the effect of, "Hey, you can come play in my court," or something like that, inviting LeBron James to her show. And I think this is a Fox show, which is not surprising for many individuals listening to this thing. So I think that all the conversation surrounding that is interesting. In addition to that, before I forget, because it's something that was brought to my attention recently, because I was listening to Carrie Champion. Carrie Champion has this thing that she's doing right now. Carrie Champion is a awesome host, journalist person for ESPN. She used to be on Center, Coast to Coast. I think she's stepping down of that, and she's going into another section of ESPN, which is focusing more on her demographic and culture, because she is a African American woman, right? And she wants to focus on those conversations more closely. So she apparently did a conversation or a video with Kevin Durant. You heard that name before? Okay, he's super basketball player, superstar, and LeBron James, which you're talking about right now. And they did this Uber thing where they're riding in a car, they're being very, very candid in conversation. And I think that I didn't realize that she started doing those pieces, and I definitely want to go back and listen to that. I think that's on the uninterrupted YouTube channel, and current. I think the latest one is the one with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Carrie Champion. And so there's a lot of conversation surrounding all those things, and I think it's sad that we're still having these conversations, seeing people uh, have certain positions that they're not necessarily qualified for. The main one in context, the presidential office is a very interesting thing. Watching that every day and hearing the reports that come from there, and even the recent reports with the shooting stuff, and with Nicholas Jacob Cruz, that Florida stuff, crazy stuff. Okay, so that's all I have with that.
You went super serial right there.
Just a little bit. So yeah. So any other thoughts on that?
No, no.
No. Okay. CW is expanding its original programming to Sundays for the 2018-2019 broadcast season, making room for more potential superhero shows. Any comments on that?
Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon for superheroes.
Word.
But they have a nice little twist, and I don't think there's ever been anything on CW that I didn't like.
Black Lightning.
I haven't watched that.
I don't blame you.
Why?
No, I didn't watch it. I have no idea. I
Jeez.
just thought I was just looking for a punchline there. But no, I don't know. I heard it's okay. I heard it's eh. I think it's interesting that Get Out is going to be shown in theaters, celebrating the culture of things Monday, which is tomorrow, and all the Black Panther stuff going on. And Black Lightning seems to be a pickup afterthought for a lot of individuals now because of all the Wakanda stuff happening. But that's all I have there.
Wait, the Get Out. Why would they choose Get Out?
Um, I don't know, but they did.
That movie, it's just so.
I still didn't see it,
don't- I don't know.
and I should see it. And I'm hearing different things about it, but I still didn't see that.
It was an interesting twist that I wasn't expecting.
Is it good or bad twist that you weren't expecting?
was good because I wasn't expecting it. It was definitely different. And then I was like, why they gotta be black for? Like,
Did
why
anybody
did?
die?
Well, yeah.
Someone always die. Who
Uh,
died first, the black guy or
I'm not gonna
somebody
tell
else?
you. Go and watch it first.
But was there a black guy that died though?
I'm not gonna tell you. There's
Okay. All right,
there's an
fair enough.
Asian guy. There was one
Fair
Asian
enough.
guy. They had to make sure they got all their demographics. So there was one Asian guy. He died.
Fair enough. Try said it's a weird twist. Yeah, so oh man, there's so much Black Panther stuff we have to talk about. But yeah, okay, so Secret X-Men, what is that? Moving. What was going on with my typo? It was late putting these notes together. I gotta call myself out on that. Moving? How did I get that?
I
Supposed to
knew what
say
you meant.
movie.
Movie.
Movie in the works. Any comments on that?
Um, I kind of like secretly hope that it ties into Deadpool in a way.
Okay.
I'm secretly
Okay.
hoping for that.
Okay.
But I'm liking this reboot, even though I don't know how many reboots they're in right now. 3, 4, I have no clue. But this latest one with I can't remember the actress's name, Sansa Stark, um, as Jean Grey, I really liked. I really enjoyed.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and a part of me, I don't know if it's gonna be a thing, if it's a secret thing. I just kind of hope there's some tie-in a little bit more than what they're giving for Deadpool right now.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. So next thing we have on the thing, Cobra Kai is an upcoming American dramedy web television series based on the Karate Kid film series created by Robert Mark Kamen. Any comments on that? 2018.
So glad you didn't see me do my Cobra Kai pose.
What? No, I did see. I didn't see it. No, do it
No, it's
again.
okay.
Do it again. I didn't see it.
I
I was sitting
can't.
here reading to make sure I didn't pronounce anything crazy wrong on.
Because I did my pose, it's
Do
like
it
the Karate
again.
Kid with his one leg.
Yeah, I
And
see. I
this.
see. I see. It's so crazy. But yeah, so that's happening 2018. Caught me by surprise. What'd you think about
Yeah, that was kind of left field. I was like, oh really? Like we're it's like, all right. Well, I'm not gonna complain about it. I can use some Karate Kid in my life. I'm not sure if I was so impressed with the remake, the one with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith.
Okay, so if it's the same movie I think we're talking about, is that the one where he was making him pick up stuff and he had a problem with it? His obedience was like at like -1,
Yeah,
and yeah, that was the whole scene on that movie, right? I think one scene.
I
To me,
think
that was a
so.
powerful scene.
Yeah, it was just weird. I don't know. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like love it.
Love it. Okay, fair
So
enough. Cobra Kai, if that's your thing, definitely check that out. Rita Ora joins the cast of the upcoming Pikachu movie. Is that your thing?
Pikachu,
Oh my
Pikachu.
goodness. Apparently, that is your thing.
Yes.
Okay. I think from what I recall, she's singer songwriter actress, if I remember correctly. She's pretty dope. Rita Ora is pretty dope. So definitely check that out if that is your thing. Incredibles 2 trailer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm really, really excited about that. Incredibles 2. Danielle, talk to me about that.
Oh my goodness. I okay. Again, on the superhero things, but because it's a new and original thing, I love The Incredibles. So the little family that is superheroes together. How can you not love it? And then they're finally. I feel like it's been 5, 6, 7 years. Been waiting for this sequel to come out. And then you get to find what the baby does. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Finally, right?
No, the baby has got to be like the end all be all superhero of the family.
Yeah. More than one ability, right?
Yeah.
According to what they showed.
Yep. And then I
He's
don't know.
pretty
He
dope.
he is. And the thing is like if they ever want to do one in the future, like I can picture his character as like an older adult, where because he has all these powers over his like older siblings, he could be a good guy. He could be a bad guy. It would make a perfect movie as well.
That would be a little crazy, but
Like they can turn on to that whole thing of like he's tired of being treated like the baby and always like he wants to be his own thing and he's the little one and everybody loves him and he wants to be taken seriously so he becomes a villain.
that would
And
be
then at the end
crazy
of
though.
the movie they all get along together and then they have Christmas.
I would still watch it.
I win.
I would still watch it. They're pretty dope. So saw that trailer. Watched that trailer. Is really good. Incredibles 2. I definitely want to do. I'm thinking I want to do like a rewatch of Incredibles this week with my family. Looking forward to doing something like that. And I don't know what else is out. I gotta double check to see if there's anything we could watch. But there's a lot of stuff out. So Transformers started off as something halfway decent. More movies released, it began to be a turnoff for many. Um, According to this news bit, the Transformers movie universe will likely be reset following the release of Bumblebee, which hits theaters on December 21st. Any comments on that, Daniela?
Reset? Why don't you just leave it alone for a little bit? Just
Because Bumblebee is awesome. Who wouldn't want to see that?
I'm okay with a Bumblebee movie, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
Bumblebee is
love
amazing.
Bumblebee. I do. Oh, I didn't watch the last two, I think. I know I didn't watch
Right.
the night one or whatever it was called, the last night. I didn't
I
watch
didn't.
that.
Yeah, I heard so much craziness with it, and I'm like, oh, it's such a turn off. I don't even know if I want to on.
I don't know. It's like the one before that, I think. I think the last two had Mark Wahlberg in it. And I like Mark Wahlberg, but him and that cast and I don't know. I was completely just put off to it.
Hmm.
I do
We'll have
love the
to
first
see.
one. The first one was just kind of I loved it. My son loved it. I think he was like 3 years old, and there's so much about that first movie to love. And yeah, like I said, just kind of just went downhill. I'm not interested in it, and the whole reboot thing, kind of like I was like saying with X-Men and all the reboots and superhero reboots. Stop with the reboots right now.
I don't think they're gonna stop because they're still making money.
Yeah, well, you have to start making good films because you're making these really cheesy ones that aren't so good.
This is
I
true.
don't know.
This is true. So Transformers. All right. So that's what's going on with Transformers. One of the things I did see that was like drooling over was a hoodie because I like hoodies. That's
I
how
love
this
the
made it
hoodie.
to the show notes because it was a really dope hoodie from a Mercoid, Mercoid or Merchoid, depending on how you say that. And it was a
Mercoid.
Black
I would
Panther
say
hoodie.
Mercoid.
Mercoid. It was a Black Panther hoodie. I thought it was really really dope. Mention it. So I'm
It
probably gonna be
was.
thirsty over that. So
It's a really nice hoodie, and it's it's accurately priced. It's 61.99, and
you think so?
I think so because I think most of my hoodies are around in that range.
Hmm.
Sadly, I think I have
I have
like
some dope ones, man.
$45 to about $70 for a hoodie that I paid for, and this one's really nice. I think the one thing that I think I would have liked on the hoodie is the little details. around the neck part for where the
Okay.
claws were his T'Challa's necklace. I think I would have liked that little detail around there.
The necklace itself.
Yeah, just like embroidered
Okay.
into it, kind of without the patch and with the
Okay.
necklace.
I
Other than
really
that,
like
it's
that hoodie. I'm like looking at it. I was like, oh man, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I was like really thirsty over it.
a
But yeah,
Back to the
so
Future
that really caught
reboot.
my attention. Huh?
Try says a Back to the Future reboot.
Back to the Future reboot.
I don't
What's going on with
know.
the to the Future reboot?
I think that's what he would want, and I'm trying to think about who would be casted as Doc and Marty.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. But Back to the Future, I think I was having a conversation with Try recently about that actually in relation to the fact that Back to the Future should not be touched. There's some movies that you shouldn't go back and mess with. I think Back to the Future is one of them.
Yeah, because my son just watched all of them. Like he binged out on it. I introduced him to the first one. He loved it, and he just binged out on all of them. And he's like, "This is so good." Yeah, yeah. Why do you think
Yeah.
I love it? But his whole thing, he's like, "I want those kicks." I'm like, "We all want those kicks."
Yeah. It's I don't think you should mess with that. It's definitely a classic. It's definitely a classic. I wouldn't want to mess with that. So that's what's going on with that. Chris Rock stand up special called Tambourine. That was amazing. Chris Rock is amazing. One of the best stand up comics I think ever. Right? We all have all time favorites, right? And he's one of those individuals who are still doing it. Dave Chappelle, obviously. Um, Cat Williams, Cedric the Entertainer, Tiffany Haddish is a rising star, right? And so many, right? So she's been a star for a long time. Now we're just recognizing how great she really, really is. Monique, that's there's so many different individuals you can name when it comes to comedians that are great. And Chris Rock, I think that for the first time in a long time, I realized that one of the genres I really enjoy is stand-up comics because they're so real and raw about what they're thinking about. And I know obviously there's punchlines as they're going through the process to talk about what they're talking about. But this stand up, because of his honesty and his brutal honesty, was really impactful to me. Even the life lessons he gave in it. Um, so I definitely wanted to mention that Chris Rock is dope.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've watched any of his stand up stuff. Actor,
Yeah,
comedian, I do really, really like him. I just don't think I've ever watched any of his stand up.
yeah, it was intense. There's a lot of things I learned about him that happening. What's up, Rob? And he really kept it real on so many fronts, and I think that that honesty is what I don't know. There's a certain level of appreciation that I have for the individuals who are doing that craft. You know, and I love telling jokes, cracking jokes, and stuff like that, making people laugh, and I think that there's a timing element that goes with that that it just has to be spot on. You know what I mean? And I think that you see the process taking place as they're telling it, especially if you watch enough of the comic stuff. Seinfeld, amazing, right? You can't forget Seinfeld. Jim Carrey, forget about it. And there's so many individuals that you can name in relation to comics and individuals who are gifted with that ability. And I just appreciate it.
I don't know. Okay. You say Seinfeld. I don't think I've ever found him funny. I I,
Man,
I think I'm the very few people because I know a couple people who's had that same reaction. Like, how do you not find him funny? I just really don't. But everybody else I agree with. I mean, my very first comedy skit that I've ever watched ever was Eddie Murphy, and I
he's funny.
loved all of his stuff. I think he was a great comedian. And it kind of went from there, and I don't know why I've been missing out on Chris Rock. Mr. Rav here says Chris Rock stand up is 100% amazing.
100% amazing. I gotta go watch it again. And Dave Chappelle's. I gotta do another round of Dave and Chris Rock. It's really good. Cat Williams. Cat Williams. Oh man, there's good. They're good. They're really really good. They're really really good. And I think I'm going through the catalog of those individuals to see the different style. And I think it's the style of Seinfeld that a lot of individuals aren't used to, or they don't welcome it as much as the individuals who are very very provocative up front and maybe add to the story, or they build on the story in a legendary way, like Dave Chappelle, which is a whole nother level of mastery when it comes to storytelling. But yeah, it's appreciated. Is my point. Yes.
Yeah. I'll go
Yes.
watch it. I'll go watch it. I don't have anything against Chris Rock. Again, I don't know why I've never watched him. I have watched all of Dave
Yes.
Chappelle's. I watched all of Eddie Murphy's. I watched Cat Williams. Oh, goodness. There's a lot of great comedians. Okay, you know what's funny is that there is a show on Netflix available right now. I think it's like riding in cars with
Drinking
comedians.
coffee.
Yeah, there
Comedians are
you.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hosted by Seinfeld. I like him
Yes,
there.
it is.
I like him there. I just didn't like his stand up.
You like him there? I mean, he's dope there. That show was originally on Crackle before they, I guess, they changed up and then they moved it over to uh, the um the Netflix platform. And also, the next guest needs no introduction,
Oh, I
right?
watched
With
the one with
Letterman.
Obama.
Beautiful, right? Awesome stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you have that. I may do that after episode 390 of the show radio tonight. I may do the Clooney one because that's available now, from what I understand.
Yes, it is. There's just
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. I've been catching up on all the wonderful things that are on Netflix. That's the one David Letterman, like my next guess is that was great. I love the Obama one. I started watching Writing in Cars, Drinking Coffee with Comedians. That was really
Right.
really good. Like I said, Coach Snoop, that's another good one.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, chat. Who do you like? Top two comedians from you guys. Definitely want to hear what you guys think about this whole conversation because I think Seinfeld is funny, and I've heard that conversation throughout the years of if his humor is warrants all the accolades that he's received over the years. I think it does. Martin Lawrence, forget about it. Just a ball of laughter when it
I
comes
think
to. So there's so many good comedians. What'd you say?
majority of the comedians I like are all black comedians. I can think of
Yeah.
maybe like two Asians, and then they're all black comedians. I can tell you which comedian I like the very least, and I just don't get it.
Who?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, I didn't. Is he a comedian?
I don't know. He's the stand-up. He's like crude, and people find him funny. I I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
get
you
it.
could do Still Alive or who left a legacy for us. Whether you do a Richard Pryor or a Kevin Hart or a Martin Lawrence or a Eddie Murphy or a Jerry Seinfeld, right? Daniel?
I'm trying
You
to
could
think of
do.
the second Asian comedian that I like. And Margaret Cho is obviously one that I like, but
She's dope. She's really dope. So this Andrew Dice Clay was just shock value, says Rap. Yeah. I didn't realize that he was. I guess because I didn't really consume any of the stuff that he did by way of content, but that is an interesting conversation to have when it comes to the comedian stuff. But Chris Rock is legendary. Murphy's legendary. Martin is legendary.
Oh, George Carlin. Yes.
George Carlin, dopeness. Um, some of the individuals, well, the late night talk show hosts, they're not comedians, right? I don't think.
I think they're talk show hosts first and then comedians after because yeah, they have to be entertaining in a way.
Okay, so who's the guy that sits down with the glasses? Late night talk show. Not the guy that sings in the cars. That's a different guy.
David Letterman. Well, okay, he doesn't do it
No,
anymore.
no, he's on Netflix now. No, the other guy I'm talking about is he sits down. He was the one that when the guests were coming out, they were like kissing him at a particular era of season or whatever of his show. Maybe 2017, 2016. Everybody was just coming out kissing the dude, whether it was a guy or a girl.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name, but talk show host. You guys probably know. I just don't know who it is. Letterman is on Netflix now, and the guy that sings, I like him. He's dope because he knows all the songs when he's singing, which is really dope. But I don't think he's a comedian, but he's really dope. I like him too. His content is dope. So that's pretty much what's going on there. I spent more time on that than I expected, but the Chris Rock thing was really good. Tambourine, go check that out. Netflix right now. It's available. Video game news. Any comments and thoughts before we go? Chat, Daniela. Before we go to video games, what's up?
I miss video games. I haven't really played any this week,
I haven't played anything,
but I did get a new game. Don't judge me.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll just keep going. All right.
Okay.
So PUBG hits a whopping 30 million sales this week, but the game is seeing its daily active player base on PC decline. Do you care?
I think that's expected. It is.
Okay.
I see a
Because
lot of my PC friends are actually jumping on and playing it on Xbox because not everybody is lucky enough to have a gaming PC. It isn't. And, as much as I want to say PC master race, it really isn't. It is whatever gaming console is affordable race. um, so a lot of them have been playing on Xbox. And it's to be expected because you still have a lot of people who are experiencing this type of battle royale games for the first time, and it's fun and it's super exciting for them. So I kind of want to see the numbers about how many, if the numbers are balancing out that, oh, our PC is going down but our console base is going up. And on top of that, you have Fortnite still. Fortnite is easily their direct competitor. There's a lot of battle royale games that are coming out, but when it comes to the top, I want to say that it's PUBG, it's Fortnite, and Fortnite is like constantly with these updates. I've even been playing more Fortnite than I have been PUBG. So, be expected. It's gonna happen.
okay, it was interesting. On a ride home today from church, my daughter asks me, do you play Fortnite? I'm like, not really. Like, I was just trying to figure out where this conversation was going. So she's interested in playing Fortnite. Yeah, so don't know who brought that to her attention. I have an idea. How that came up. But yeah, so she's interested in Fortnite.
I
So
think
Fortnite has made its way inside my world.
Well, I think Fortnite on top of that it's a really easy battle royale type game to get into, but it is one of those games that it's hard to master because there's a lot of elements that's a lot simpler as far as weapons
Right.
go, and you don't have to worry about accessories for those weapons. You pick up a gun, you go. But then you have the complexities of building and those types of
Right.
strategies that add on to it. So it's great for your beginners, it's great for your pros. All right, now I can currently hear my son in his bedroom who is arguing with his friends.
Nice. CS:GO, baby.
No, well, I think he's bouncing back and forth because I can see him switch games to CS:GO to
Okay.
Fortnite. So, I think earlier this morning he was so disappointed because he made it to a top three situation, but he panicked because the blue wall was coming in, and he didn't really think about how high this building he made. So when he jumped, he killed himself.
What?
He's like, I was doing so good. And the funny thing is, I think he was blaming his friends for it. I'm like, your friends
Well,
didn't tell you to jump out of the building.
you can technically build so you don't die, right? You can build so you don't fall, right?
Yeah, you can.
Preventable.
It is completely preventable. He could have just continued building outwards and followed
Right.
where the circle was going, but he panicked.
Okay. Check out this skit, The Machine from Bert
Kushner?
Kirschner. Word. Is it Seinfeld funny? Kevin Hart funny? Is it Andrew Dice Clay funny? Is it Martin Lawrence funny? What kind of funny am I looking at? Richard Pryor funny? Cedric the Entertainer funny?
Your cheese funny?
So many dope peeps. That's what's going on with that. For Honor has hit another milestone, having amassed a player base of 7.5 million with 1 million unique players every month. Is this a thing that you're excited about, Daniela?
I didn't even know For Honor was still a thing. I thought that game was so dead.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I have a hard time believing 1 million unique players every month. I like, are you really
Every
pulling out this
month.
number? Pulling this number from like all of your platforms to make it sound impressive? Because I
Every month.
swear I don't know anybody else who's even touched that game, plays that game anymore. Like, done.
Somebody's playing it.
Some 1 million somebodies.
Somebody's playing that for Honor. One thing I thought that was really interesting, PlayStation Blog recently launched this Share of the Week thing, a new series where they highlight the latest and greatest hashtag PS4 share creations. Is this something that you consider getting into when you visit your PS4, Daniela?
I don't think I've ever used the Creator Studio. That's what it's being made in, right?
You can just do the screenshot hashtag PS4 share and send it out to Twitter if you
Oh,
want
it's
to do
like
something like that.
that. Okay.
Something like that. But there's details, according to the link we're gonna have in the show notes. If you want to look into that little thing to see if you want to be featured, we'll have that
Okay, so I
for
missed that part of
sure.
the news because I noticed that trend on my Twitter timeline lately of a lot more people using the hashtag PS4 share and sharing directly from their
Yeah.
PlayStation. And I just thought, well, you really want me to see your
All
Fortnite
right.
kills. Because that's what I see most of the
Okay.
time. But
I need you to tell me. I need you to
what's
tell me
up?
something. What is going on with Xbox?
I don't know. I
I'm
haven't
at a
turned mine on in
place.
3 months.
Yeah, I'm at a place where I'm like I have this if you want to call it a righteous indignation of the fact that most of the time all we are talking about right now is PlayStation. I get why, but what the heck is going on with Xbox right now?
I
Is
don't
that a fair
know.
question?
I guess it is. I mean, if it's a fair question if you just don't see the draw to it right now. If you have it and you don't, you're not playing it. Yes. I haven't turned mine on in probably 3 months. Um and I think my boyfriend, I'm like thinking and looking when's the last time he actually played and used his, and he loves Xbox. He's most of his games, like I want to say 95% of his games are on Xbox, and he hasn't even touched it or played it in like a month. There's just no draw to it right now.
It's really bugging me, man. Like seriously. It's really bugging me. Rav is talking about the question I posed. It's hard to say. I don't know who to compare him to. The skit is about when he went to Russia in college and got involved with the Russian mafia. My Xbox is
Oh, okay.
unplugged and not hooked up.
He pointed to me. That's actually a really good skit.
Yeah, so Xbox is unplugged and not hooked up. Okay, so I don't know what to do with that right now. I know they're doing the backwards compatibility games and stuff like that. That's cool. Um, I haven't turned it on in almost a month plus. Maybe because I'm having a conversation tonight, I'm going to turn it on to see if there's any updates. Maybe that'll be a thing that I need to talk about on the next show, maybe 391 or whatever. But outside of that, there's really nothing. They started doing the VLC stuff. I thought that was good. Then they did the Cody thing we talked about in recent episodes, which was an alpha, right? Not even beta. Not I couldn't even share across the network. That was irritating. Um, I don't know. I know that wasn't, planned as far as topic is concerned, but I just wanted to share my frustration with you guys.
I sometimes I just forget about it, and it's really sucks because you spend $300-400 on this console. You want to have more things to play on it and use it for, but for me right now, it's just not happening. And maybe it's
Hmm.
just for me, I need some exclusives because I've been bouncing between my PC and playing on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
even I didn't
Fair enough.
even get getting Monster Hunter on Xbox was never a consideration. Everybody I knew was like, "Oh, we're gonna get it on PlayStation." I'm like, "Okay, well then I'll play with you on PlayStation." There's no reason for me to get on Xbox if I don't have anybody to play with.
Yeah. Hmm.
Try
All right. Fair
thinks
enough.
that Try thinks that creativity is low with new games. Yeah, I can believe that. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the creativity thing, as it relates to um, trying to get a new IP, right? That kind of a thing, is tough. There's a lot of teams that are losing their jobs because whatever the studio was currently doing, not doing anymore, right? We saw that with the Fortnite group, I think,
Mm-hmm.
where they doubled down to focus on the Fortnite stuff. So you see all that stuff. The Halos franchises that work still prints money. That's still a thing. The Mario's, we get a Mario every time a Switch comes out. It's going to be interesting to see based on a topic that we have for Switch in this episode, which I want to elaborate on once we get to it. But I think there are individuals being creative. I think the AAA overshadows the creativity of the indies that are putting in some dope work.
Rob
I'll
says
say that.
no. Rob says no way will a big dev going to risk several tens of millions on a new risky IP.
There you go. There you go. So a lot of indies putting in some awesome, awesome work are overshadowed by AAA if all you care about are AAA titles and wondering if there's going to be new creativity. If you're looking for creativity, there's plenty of indies that can show you that. But are we paying attention to the indie developers? Right? That's a question we can ponder.
Not
Google may
enough.
be preparing. Talk to me.
Yeah, we don't pay attention to enough of the indie games. I love indie games. I love the creativity. I love how they're different, and I love that they have that freedom to do
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. So creativity is everywhere, and that's another thing too. I'm guilty of it too because there's a lot of things that I see Xbox post almost weekly or bi-weekly of a new indie game that pops up, or a re-release of a Neo Geo classic or something like that. They're putting those out with the indies and mixing that bag, that mishmash of games. I'm not really paying attention to that. I'm concerned of what's wrong with Xbox. I guess my statement is biased, right? Because when I mention that, I'm thinking, where are the games? But there are games. I'm not really paying attention to the indie stuff on Xbox. So maybe I'm missing out. Contradiction right there, right? That's what's going on with that. Google may be preparing to make a big grab at the global video game business by launching its own subscription based gaming streaming service. Daniela, what's up?
I'm getting tired of seeing the word subscription based streaming. I don't care what it
That's the
is
world that we live in.
anymore. I know
That's
it
the world that we live in.
is. I know. I guess I'm gonna have to see what kind of games they're gonna be offering, obviously. Um, I'm perfectly happy with what I have now, though.
Right.
I don't know. But
Okay.
it's Google, and
Fair
they're,
enough.
there's Skynet, and
They're dope, right? I think it would be great. I think it's gonna be dope if they decide to go through with it. According to the article, they were planning to release it in 2017. For whatever reason, what was happening in the world or Q3, Q4 of 2017, they decided to halt. And they also recently hired a PlayStation head that is not necessarily overseeing, but talking to the hardware division of Google right now in relation to the things that they're considering for this subscription-based Google service, which will probably be likened unto your PlayStation Now type service. And the pressure is going to be on the internet service provider to provide a smooth service because the button presses and inputs are going to be directly linked to the cloud service, if that makes any sense. So that's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play that out. But like you said, Google is Google. They have all the money. They print money. So I don't see them, you know, being
Google's
in
gonna
that
make
space would be good for them.
Google's gonna make their own cryptocurrency too, and have their own. I don't know what it is gonna be. The G
Yeah,
coin.
it's Goog coin. Goog coin. So you have that. So am I overthinking the indie conversation? I really want to hear what you guys think in the chat. Um, we're overlooking a lot of games, but we're asking what's going on with a particular system. I know I brought the question up. Maybe I'm overlooking a lot of things that they're doing. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. That's possible. I'm not you know, I'm flawed, so it's
Xbox does
definitely a
have
thing.
a really nice digital library, not of just AAA titles. They have a lot of good indie games that are in there, those little hidden gems. You just kind
Right.
of have to find them. And I know that there's other news media outlets that just specialize in those indie type of games. You just got to really find it and see what fits in. I haven't personally looked at it in a long while. Um, There. I mean, that's where you got your Super Meat Boy. You got
Yes. Favorite game.
yeah. So that's in there. I mean, they exist. Just need to dig. And it's great if you don't have a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, lately I have been associating indie titles with just getting it on Steam. Steam has the most massive library of every game imaginable. It blows
True.
my mind. It's not even just Steam, just like PC. Like, if your brain can probably think of it, it probably exists somewhere in some weird category. And I probably like to play in that category somewhere. I just I just bought some games in Humble Bundle too. Man, nobody tell my boyfriend I bought these games.
Nobody tell. Don't be a snitch. So
Cuz I also just bought some Sega CD games too.
oh man, you're racking up over there. And when are you planning to play that?
I don't know. Well, okay, when it
After the
comes
backlog, right?
yeah, they're back. Well, the thing is, I love collecting older retro titles as well. And I saw somebody on Oahu that was selling some Sega CD games, and it was Jurassic Park, which I have not beat as a kid because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand that type of game then, and Batman Returns. I could not pass up on those two. The other three games I passed up on, no, two games I passed up on was um, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Hook, which I'm
Okay.
kind of debating. I'm like, I kind of might want those games.
Do you want them? Like now?
No, I
Uh,
shouldn't have, but
are
okay.
indie games promoted? Is that the question in the chat, Daniela?
Yes, tries asking if indie games promoted. They are promoted, but they're not promoted the same way because you're looking at these smaller developers. Some of them is just one programmer with just one person creating these games. So their budget is a lot smaller.
Right.
So they can't promote in the same way that you would traditionally see them. And
Right.
like Fez was not known until like people started playing it, they loved it, and the guy started making more money, and he could actually promote a little bit better, and it started picking up the heat. Then, unless you're paying attention to that type of games, you're not going to know it exists. And um, some of them have Kickstarters. Um,
Right.
like what's the last one we had that has a Kickstarter? Minuet of Power.
Right.
And that is an indie title that's coming out, and you know their only real promotions is what they can do for themselves. You're not going to see them on a billboard. You're not going to see them on IGN unless somehow like it is a hot enough title that is out there that IGN knows is going to be like, you know, that next hot indie title. They're not going to be promoted that same exact way. So you
Right.
have to kind of go through the indie channels and pay attention to what's on Twitter. And there's not like there's a special hashtag for it. Um,
Right.
Maybe you can probably put in hashtag indie game, but
No, I'm actually looking into it right now. All right, so let's do this, right? Because I believe in doing it rotation, and we can really go through it, right? So Major Nelson has his website where he releases news about the upcoming games and stuff, right? So you have that. You also have the Xbox Game Store, which is the main thing, marketplace.xbox.com. So now under games, you have Xbox One games, Xbox One X enhanced games, Xbox Game Pass, backwards compatible games, Xbox Play Anywhere games, games with gold, deals with gold, sales and specials, Xbox 360 games, Windows 10 games, EA Access, and then the redeem code option. That's all you have there. Nothing speaks for indie there. So are they really promoting that? No, they're not promoting it there. But if you go to the Xbox Live's Major Nelson, since we're talking about Xbox stuff now, Claybook Game Preview is now available for Xbox One. Claybook Game Preview, that's on Major Nelson's thing. Iron Cast Commander Pack is now available for Xbox One. What else we got? FE is not available for Xbox One. Don't know what that is, but that's a thing. Bleed Complete Bundle is now available for Xbox One. So Xbox is getting some promo right now. Let's see what else they have. ACA Neo Geo, that's a remake. The Last Blade 2 is now available. That was a good game. I really enjoyed that. What else they have? Guilt Battle Arena is now available for Xbox One. So on Major Nelson's website, you have the promo of the indie things that are releasing on the Xbox platform, but you're not going to see that under the Xbox Game Store, which we read the stuff under games, and the indie stuff is not mentioned.
so you mentioned
So,
FE, which is Faye. I think they actually announced that that did fall under an indie title, but they announced that at E3. I want to say 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, so when it comes to promoted things, like it's not like like Andrew's finding here as openly available. So if you see it promoted or shown somewhere, like showcased, Sony does it sometimes on their special, you know, PlayStation experiences. Xbox does it. They do it at E3. They'll get their like 5 minutes of like, here, let's speed through all the indie games right here, one after the other. You find something that you like, you kind of have to almost follow the news on that game yourself in a way.
right.
And Steam, Mr. Ralph here, Steam says he will promote them if you start following or adding indie games to your wish list, and Steam shows games it thinks you are interested in. It does have a very good formula, an algorithm for showing you games that you like. So if on Steam you're like, oh, I like this game, I like that game, it'll start showing you, like populating your storefront with similar types of games. If especially if you like indie games, they'll show you all these indie games, or if you're type of like horror games, they'll show you a bunch of horror games. It's really really good at that. And you can also go through your queue where it'll
Right.
compile, I think, something like 12 titles, and you'll go through each one and you'd be like, oh, this does this interest you, does it not interest you, do you want to add it to your wish list, do you want to follow it? And it also builds upon that algorithm based off of you going through the queue.
Yeah.
Rob says if you
So
want the
the
best
short
indie games.
answer,
Oh,
the
go
short
ahead.
answer is yes, but it's complicated.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what's going on with that. So Mafia 2 and the original 2006 Prey are now backwards compatible. So Xbox stuff here. Splinter Cell Conviction is now backwards compatible on Xbox One. Now, interestingly enough, right? As I was going through looking at the category for the marketplace.xbox.com, that part, I didn't realize that they they had a section for the backwards compatibility for that. So now I want to go click that and see what's there and see if I can match it with stuff I already have. And maybe I want some more stuff that I can play with the current Xbox that's been sitting here for a month and a half without being on. Be an interesting thing to see.
Try asks, can young players 10, 11, 12, etc. find indie games?
I would go with what Rob said.
I'm going to say no. I
Find
have,
indie
like,
games?
well, I'm taking that question as easily find them.
Okay, got it,
Like,
got it,
come
got it.
across,
Okay.
like, because right now, all of those kids are mainly being, pointing towards AAA titles. You got your COD, you got your
Fortnite.
Battlefield, you got all of those. My son, who's 14, he doesn't know about a lot of games and a lot of titles unless I tell him about it. And like Fortnite, you would think you would know because it came from Epic, but he didn't know what Fortnite was until, you know, I showed it and he saw me playing. He's like, "Oh, what's this game?" I'm like, "Oh, this is Fortnite," and that's not an indie
Hmm.
title. It's like they know what is being shown on their YouTube ad commercials on TV. Um, but I don't think so. And I think that goes with just any game. It doesn't even have to be indie. Because I'm so amazed by how narrow my my son's like knowledge of video games or what's coming out is so incredibly narrow. So incredibly. And I have a
Hmm.
huge gaming library. So that surprises me.
Yeah, I've scaled down. I mean, my emulator stuff is bigger than my current PlayStation and Xbox stuff put together, including 360. Um, so but it's everything is new versions of things I've enjoyed over the years, right? Street Fighter, the Call of Duties. That's the main things, right? Destinies, which we're still playing that game. So it's a rehash of and Destiny 2 is becoming Destiny 1.5.
So here's an interesting thing. Would you consider Hellblade an indie game?
No, I wouldn't. But it is. But the scale that they built that with the 20 people, I don't even put it in the indie category.
I would
But it
consider it
is.
in
It's a hybrid to
it is a
me.
hybrid. So if you haven't played Hellblade, try. That is, I would consider that, and it would fall under an indie title for me because it wasn't created in your traditional triple A fashion, but it was a triple A game regardless.
Yeah.
So it's
Amazing
like an
visuals, everything.
independent triple A game. It's a hybrid between the
Award winning
both.
too, right?
Yeah, it was, and it was very well received, but it is like, see, Rob agrees, definitely 100% indie title. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
again,
So
like
there's some goodness out there.
yeah, and we learned about it in different ways. I think for you, way that Andrew found about it, I asked him about it. I brought it up, and then magically, here's Hellblade that posts some news on it, and when I ended up playing it, he's not gonna play it, but good. So there's some games that you wouldn't think are indie games, but they are. Because I think a lot
Mm.
of people also associate indie games with those pixel games, which they are. There's a lot, but they're not all pixel games. The 8-bit ones. Has Microsoft or Sony ever gone after an indie game and made it a main console game?
Hmm.
I gotta think about that one.
In terms of their marketing and advertising, Cuphead was Cuphead is indie, right?
Is
Microsoft
it?
exclusive. PC, I think it did PC and Microsoft, and I would consider Cuphead indie, small team.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yep. Yes. Appreciate it. Fact checking here in the chat. Yeah, so Cuphead is definitely a big title, a very difficult title, and likes of your Contra. In terms of its vibes, the soundtrack is amazing. I was able to check out the soundtrack. Did not play the game. Daniela did play Cuphead, from my understanding, if I remember
I
correctly.
haven't beat it yet. I still need a break because I'm so angry at that game.
But
So
definitely
angry.
dope game, indie game. It kind of, what was it, September ish release of 2017, right around there.
Oh, don't tell me that is that really when it released? Because now I feel
Yeah, I think
bad.
Cuphead was September.
Yes, September
Um,
29th. Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Woo! My memory is not so bad. So yeah, so that was a dope game, and got some great accolades, and a lot of people really went after it and gave it a lot of love. So
I
that
think
I would include that one.
I think studios or platforms, whatever, really only go after indie games and really bump them up if it's something that's super well received. Like Cuphead
Mm,
had so much hype behind it because of what they were doing so differently, because of the soundtrack, because it was all hand drawn, and it was a really nice platformer that's coming up that people wanted to get on. Of course, it's a money train for Microsoft. They're gonna get on
yeah,
it. So
yeah, it was good stuff. I remember. I don't know. I may have to revisit some of my conversation radio. But I had the conversation with the guys who Me Boy back in the day. Probably one of my OG interviews or whatever. And Super Meat Boy to me is one of the all-time classics for indie, and it was very difficult platformer, really really dope game. And even today, it stands the test of time. It's still doing good. I think they ported it in other platforms and stuff, but it's still a dope game.
it's a really good conversation.
Word, absolutely. Anything made outside the large game studio is indie. Some indie devs are just popular. They seem like a major title. Absolutely, I can agree with that. Of course, the guys who did um, Dishwasher, Dead Samurai, Dishwasher, Vampire Smile, Charlie Murder, dope games, got a lot of love. Indie games, fantastic indie games.
I think that's what kind of keeps, well, not necessarily indie games. I mean, there's some overseas titles, but that's what kind of keeps the Vita going. People
Mm,
think the Vita is dead because they don't have any AAA studios and
I
titles
still want
coming
one.
out for it, but there's still some really good games that are coming out. There
I
are.
still want a Vita.
Just gotta look.
Absolutely. Word. Definitely a dope conversation. So you got the Mafia, you got a Splinter Cell Conviction, a backwards compatible. Keep the questions coming. If you have more comments and thoughts on that, that's good stuff. Supernatural Adventure slash role player vampire will take flight on the 5th of June. Any comments on those things, Daniela?
I don't know how I missed this in the news, but yay! I
It's
didn't know. I
fantastic.
missed that in the notes. I don't know how I did. I've been looking forward to it. I get to see it in June 5th.
Yeah, that's I saw that. I was like, ooh, nope. I'll pass.
It's okay. I'll play it for you.
Yes, please. Please do. Because it was creeping me out. I was like, what is this? What's going on here? So you have that THQ Nordic, publisher of the Blob, which is getting a Switch remaster later this year, has bought Koch Media, which owns the Saints Row, Metro, and Dead Island franchises, in a 121 million deal. Any comments on that?
I think I played that game.
Which
Yeah.
one? Metro? I played
Oh no, the
Saints Row,
blob
maybe
or
one.
whatever it is. Oh, I didn't play any of
Metro,
those.
Dead Island. I started it and I saw a whole bunch of zombies running at me. I'm like, okay, this is over.
Then you noped out of
Time to
there.
turn it off. Can't. I can't.
No, I,
I'm
I,
not
I
a zombie
played
guy.
I played Saints Row, but the blob. I didn't play that one.
The
Oh yes.
Blob. I didn't play the.
A lot of
That's a
stuff
good
coming out
catch,
for the
right?
Switch.
121 mil.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. What does that translate to US?
In actual dollars.
Yeah, because when you say, well, okay, it doesn't really matter. 121 mil is like a lot of whatever it is, whether it be
Right.
US,
It's still
euros,
a lot
pounds,
of
I don't know.
cash. It's still a boatload of money. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. Fear Effect Sedna comes out on 6th of March 2018. 18 years after the first game in the series launched on the original PlayStation. Fear Effect was pretty dope. I played a little bit of that. I enjoyed it. What about you, Daniela?
I didn't know it's already been 18 years.
That's
Oh
crazy,
my
right?
God. I just it does not feel like it was 18 years ago, but that was PS1. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Fear
crazy.
Effect
Okay.
is long time ago. This one I'm really excited about. I don't know what it is about this game that left an impression on me over the years. Spyro the Dragon Trilogy Remaster is reportedly coming to PlayStation 4 as a timed exclusive in Q3 2018. Daniela, talk to me about Spyro the Dragon.
And don't unfriend me here, but I didn't like him. There's
Don't
nothing I
unfriend you.
don't there's nothing about the game that interests me. And that does not just
What?
Spyro. Like I don't like Crash Bandicoot either.
Oh my gosh. This is blasphemy.
Like those platformers, I don't know what it is. I don't care for them. There's nothing that interests me. Like when I look at it, there's nothing that's appealing of like, "Oh yeah, I want to play this." That's silence.
Listen, Spyro the Dragon is one of the coolest games in that generation, in that time. Spyro, so dope, so dope. So to see that coming back, for a PlayStation release, I'm really excited about that. Oh, Rob, come on, man, don't
See,
talk like
Rob,
that.
internet high five.
Come on, man, come on. But no, but I'm really excited for Spyro the Dragon. I think the fact that it's coming back. Some of the games that they're actually picking to come back. Internet high five. You're so funny. Um, is really exciting to see that they're making those adjustments for us to get those games. I don't know. I want to see Contra back and like an arcade uh thing. It'll probably be more like an Xboxy type than PlayStation. But I like those old classics. I want to see a lot of them back, and Spyro is definitely one of them.
I would agree with Contra. Yeah. I mean, he looks cool. You're Barney's stepbrother dragon over there, dinosaur.
Okay, now that's go too far. That's go too far.
But
Okay, so
just
now have
overall.
you watched any of the clips for Spyro?
Well, yeah. I don't
And
I don't like it. I mean, it's not like I hate on it, but I'm like, okay, cool. I don't want to play it. There's nothing drawing to me of like, yeah, I want to buy this. I want to play this. Spyro, Crash Bandicoot do nothing for me. I see it and I see the excitement. Don't really care.
okay, we will move on.
But if it
Daniela.
was Donkey Kong, I'll
Oh,
be
Donkey
excited.
Kong is amazing. Fair enough. We'll move
Wow.
on. We'll move on.
Rob says I played too
Evil,
much of Contra back in the day. I was able to beat it without dying. Okay, I can't do that.
yeah, Contra's the game. Absolutely. I mean, the up, up, down, down code is still legendary even today. Evil Within 2 gets first person mode. I wouldn't even play it in whatever mode it is in. So, what do you think about Evil Within 2? Oh, wait, 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 wait. If I remember correctly, let me think because I'm trying to remember conversations we have, and I could be completely wrong with this. For you cannot play Evil Within because of the stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm scoring today, man. Dude, I'm on fire. Okay. Any game like that or
Any game like that. Like I can't play Dead Space.
okay.
And
All
I
right,
like
fair enough.
horror
So we'll
games,
move
so that
on.
bums me out.
Um I'm not a fan of that or exploding babies in the stomach. What was that? Dead Space, right? The exploding babies. Um not a fan of all that. Miyamoto seems confident that the usual console life cycle of 5 to 6 years is something that Nintendo can prolong for the Switch. I'll let you go first on that.
I think that's an awesome mindset to have. To
Because
extend to go past that 5, 6, 7 years before you're announcing your next iteration. Because again, it's not like people are rich. It probably takes 5, 6 years before they can finally like, I finally got a Switch, and then, oh wait, you're coming out with another one. Another 5, 6 years. But that just means that they have a nice long, library that they want to keep offering for this platform, and I think that's awesome
right.
for people who have it. And I believe they also think that everybody will own a Switch. That is not wrong to think at all. I know
Okay.
eventually I will own one. I will. That is the plan.
I want one so bad. Oh man. I didn't realize how bad it was, but
Christmas 2018.
I don't know. I don't know. But okay, so the thing that's interesting with this conversation is okay, 5 to 6 years or more, can we see another major Zelda Mario on this version of the Switch before they do another iteration of it? What would you say with that?
Most
Chat or anybody?
definitely.
You
I
you
I
think
would have
so?
to say yeah.
Hmm.
I would have to say so. I mean, it's completely possible, especially if they're looking to go past those 5, 6 years. I think they're gonna have one, even before that. I think that right now they are totally enjoying, the success that Breath of the Wild has had. People are still loving that. People are still buying it. People are still talking about it. So maybe not in the next year or two,
Okay.
but definitely year three. They're like 3 years from now, roughly.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna roll with Rob on the Zelda one, but I think they would hold off on the Mario because the Mario is like the ultimate money bringer. I know Zelda's up there too. I haven't necessarily compared the sales between Zelda and Mario in terms of how much it brings in or anything like that, but I think they would do Zelda before they do a Mario game.
Yeah, possibly.
Just just random thoughts on that. But Metroid, right, is in the works. I think we
We
talked
we
about
talked about
that
that
recently.
last one. Mm-hmm.
So you have the Metroid stuff. They just did the Bayonetta release, right? Bayonetta 2, because that was exclusive to the Wii, right? Mario Kart, interesting take, right? Try mention Mario Kart. So they have some hits every single time they release a console. And because we talked about it in the past where this hybrid of a console speaks to the hearts of the domestic consumers as well as the international, I don't see us getting another iteration of the Switch, maybe at least 6 years out because it's doing so well.
Rav says they probably have more Odyssey DLC. More likely, they can add levels and worlds easier than a whole new game. This is true. They is, and people will flock to that DLC like crazy. and he just
Yeah,
wants a Mario Maker remake. Oh yeah, that thing did really, really well.
Mario Maker is legendary.
So I can see that as
That's
well. There's a lot of stuff that they can do with Mario, and it doesn't even have
yeah,
to be
6 years.
this next big iteration of it.
Yeah, just even thinking about it even some more, 6 years is a long time.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, look, I didn't realize 18 years went by. So, so you
For the fear
know,
effect, right?
yes. Um, so you know, those 6 years can go by
Legendary.
quickly.
Word. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting stuff. So you have that on the Nintendo Persona series. Persona series is set to receive an official companion app in Japan, if that's your thing. Any comments on that? Chat, Daniela, what's up?
I gotta go and look what this companion app does. I didn't even get
Word.
to play mine yet that I bought during Thanksgiving.
Persona is dope. Oh, you know what? Listen, it was a different vibe for me as far as the game is concerned, but in terms of the culture surrounding the game itself being really great, the music, the soundtrack, the gameplay, Persona 5, if I remember correctly, is the last one that came out, is really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I'll get there eventually, world, somewhere. But overall, okay. Overall, as far as companion apps come for games, I don't
Yeah.
think I've come across a companion app that I did not like. Because
Okay.
Watch Dogs, I liked Watch Dogs. That was
Watch
very
Dogs is
interesting. So Watch
dope.
Dogs didn't wasn't it was like a hit or miss for a lot of people. But the app I thought was kind of fun because my favorite thing to do was if somebody was playing and you have your app open and they're doing car chases, you can be the cops hunting them down. I thought that was a lot of
Mm,
fun. I really liked that. And Black Flags had one. I like Black Flags. I just don't think there has been a bad companion app. I don't exactly know what the Persona one does yet. I'm kind of reading it. So it says, let's see. In addition to receiving news related to Persona series, you can move forward in an exploration game in order to enjoy newly written conversation events with Persona characters. Also, by spending
okay.
Persona points, which can be acquired through various means, you can summon Personas to take along in the exploration game, as well as download web content, get presents, and apply to events. Okay, so wait. So it's not, it's for any Persona game? Okay, that's
Does that
interesting.
raise your interest in it now?
I think that's interesting. That's very unique. So not only it's uh just for one game, it's for multiple. It's for just the whole Persona series. Key features: you can check your Persona series official news, an easy to play exploration game, summon personas, enjoy conversation events, and save up and use Persona points.
Hmm.
If someone going to check that out. Mr. Rob says the
Interesting.
best companion app was Fallout 4's. Oh yeah, it was.
How was Fallout? I think I have Fallout. I don't know which one though.
So I had to purposely quit that game because I made a mistake. I helped
I've
out
never
too
played it and I
many.
have it.
You should go and play it. Let's put it this way. So I got so sidetracked with all the side missions and helping Preston save these settlements, I still have not found my kid.
Is it instant gratification?
Not when it comes to these settlements, because I have come across way too many settlements that all the messages I was ever getting was like, your settlement's under attack. Your settlement's under attack. Oh, these people are like, I don't care about these settlements. I just want to do the story. Leave me alone. Fend for
Hmm.
yourselves. You're on your own.
So I can't do a fireball uppercut or punch somebody in the face and do a sweep kick and instantly be happy that they got damaged and fall out.
Good.
No.
Just
Mm.
don't. I don't know. The VAT system is really cool. I mean, you can do that, but it's not. I guess you can use it for punching. Yeah, you can. I liked it for just shooting. So you have the VAT system. You can acquire and shoot for higher accuracy and these like really cool shots that you can make. You could do that with this. I forget what this claw thing was that I had. It's just I got so overwhelmed by
Mm.
the side missions and these settlements. Um, I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, I just, I need you to leave me alone, Preston. I don't care about these settlements. I don't want to build. I don't want to do anything. They can save themselves.
I
They're
don't
full.
know. I don't know. I'm in a weird space right now when it comes to. I don't want to go long winded. I feel like I'm watching more stuff than I'm playing games. That's a short version of it. So rounds, round two, three, four, and Street Fighters. Best out of three matches. Um, that stuff is like more appealing to me now than playing a strike mission in Destiny or doing a Nightfall.
Maybe you're burnt out.
Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can go 3 hours on a show without batting an eye with 2 hours of sleep and be okay and be turned off about, doing a PvP match. I'm in a weird space right now. I'm more excited to watch the George Clooney thing that we talked about earlier than anything else right now. Outside of the show, obviously, because we're recording the best show on the planet. But outside of that, I'm not really that interested in a lot of games right now. Unless something else happens between now and then, maybe an indie game will catch my attention. But that's a whole nother thing.
I think that's a normal thing. I get that feeling sometimes.
Is
Where
it
I
the
just
season because we're approaching stuff?
I don't think well for me it's more of how I want to relax. And there's so many different ways to relax. And sometimes it'll get to the point, especially the games I'm working on, where it's not always relaxing.
Right.
Because right now I gotta go. I'm playing Monster Hunter right now, and it's been about 4 days since I got the last play. But I know that I need to go hunt down some dragons here, and I'm gonna be
All right.
stomped on. And I'm like,
Is
that's a
Ryu a
whole different shift.
DLC?
I don't think it's necessarily a DLC. It's like an add-on.
Okay, got it.
But you can only get it if you have like Street Fighter save data on your account. And I
Got
don't
it.
know if it has to be just Fighter 5 overall or if it has to be the arcade edition.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I do know you have to have Street Fighter on there.
Okay. Fair enough. That's what's going on with that. Speaking of Street Fighter, we'll talk about that in a second. Batman Ninja box art. That thing is a thing of beauty.
Oh, Rob says it will come later for everyone else. Okay, so it'll come at a later
Nice.
time. But yes, Batman Ninja. I think it's
Okay.
April 26th is the digital. And then for Blu-ray, it's
Okay.
available May 8th.
You were so
And
excited about that. Like,
I am. Oh my God, the trailer looks so good. Everything looks so good about it.
yeah, it's really dope. It's really dope. And it's a different. Okay, so a couple things on the radar. The Batman Gaslight thing that recently came out,
Mm-hmm.
the DC movie. I want to see that. So we should check that out so we can talk about that. That looks really good. And I saw it got some pretty good reviews. The George Clooney thing with David Letterman. I want to see that. And some more comic stand-up stuff is on my radar. And audio logs and the division. I'm having a lot of fun picking those. So a couple of things.
Hi there,
Word.
Aaron.
Word. What's up, A? Gotham by Gaslight. That looks really, really good to me. That caught my attention a couple of times, and I'm excited about that. Since we were talking about Street Fighter and stuff before, Blanca is heading to Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. That's going to be February 20th, and that's what, Tuesday, right?
I don't know. I'm still stuck on Batman here. Or me watching the trailer again.
You watching the trailer? You watching the trailer again? The
it's so
Batman,
good.
that thing looks really good. That thing looks really really good.
Okay,
Um,
so would you spend like $1,300 on a Batman statue?
$1,300.
Yes. Because it looks really, really, really badass. I probably won't be able to eat for the rest of the year just for myself.
This trailer's so good. I'm looking at okay, so now you got me looking at the trailer too. That looks so
Oh
dope.
man.
My goodness. Whoever thought about doing this? Legendary.
Um, there is a
Uh,
statue. It's a really, really, really dope statue, and I
wow.
saw a link for it, and it looks so good.
1,300? No. Mm-mm. I know you would consider it, right?
Man, I am. Because
120.
it looks so amazing. Here, I brought it up. I brought it up. So it's
Ninja Batman Deluxe version 1,200. What? Pre-order. Now you know what? That looks really, really dope though. I cannot front. That looks pretty hot.
it's just
I spent $100 on figures from Hot Toys, but not 1,300 for one. No, I don't know about this 1,300, but I mean Batman is Batman, right?
mm-hmm.
He's amazing. But Black Panther, oh man. Woo! Can't wait to talk about that.
Who would win? Batman or
I,
Black Panther?
Batman's always dope, but Black Panther, yeah, I'm excited to share some thoughts of our experiences without necessarily spoiling anything, because we're not doing spoilers apparently. Tonight is not a spoiler cast. Not today. But this Batman stuff is really really dope. I can't do that though. So not 1,300. Blanca's heading to Street Fighter 5. If that's your thing, definitely check that out. The 20th, I believe, is Tuesday. So look forward to that. Next thing that I know Daniela is excited about is Secret of Mana, Mana, depending on how you want to say that. That's out. Daniela, any comments on that?
I'm dancing with my copy because it's sitting right here. So the physical copy is a very limited thing that was only being sold at GameStop. My number one, I haven't been able to play it yet. Obviously, like all my other games here, we're just gonna stick with the, the tradition here. The one number one thing I was kind of disappointed with. So the original Super NES version, which I wish my parents never got rid of, came with a map, the Secret of Mana map of all the different locations and key things that you're going to be hitting as you play the game. I wish that they came with that. And the funny thing is that those little extra things that you get in a Super Nintendo like box, they never labeled it as collector's edition and special edition. It was just like it's a standard. Here you go. I
Are
almost
we doing
wish
show and
that I
tell?
had this.
Are we doing show and tell?
There's nothing else in here. Just that. Oh well,
I
that
think I got a
could.
show and tell
But
for you.
what is that?
Okay, since we're doing show and tell, one moment, please.
One moment, please. All right.
Daniela,
What? Is
what do you think this is?
that a Walkman? What are you doing with a
It's
Walkman?
a it's a cassette player, Daniela. Who would be interested in a cassette player, and why would they be interested in a cassette player?
People who like collecting stuff.
I don't know anybody who would want this. Do you?
Maybe I don't know. Collectors, retro collectors,
Ah!
museums.
You tell me, Daniela. We can talk about it afterwards. Post show, maybe. That's
Aaron,
the show and
Aaron asks.
tell.
Aaron asks, "How do cassette players work, Grandpa Andrew?"
I see it. I see it. Well, okay. You have these like AA batteries thing that you put in here. Oh, it still has AA batteries. They're probably dead by now, right? And this is actually a recorder. It has a little extension for the mic that is supposed to do something, apparently. The extension of the mic. And there's a VAS. So I think that's a variable. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a voice activated system. So if I'm pressing
Oh,
the
so it's like next
oh, this is
level.
fancy. This is fancy. This is fancy. And I don't know, Daniela. Do you know anybody who would be consider, you know, I don't know. Maybe somebody would be interested in
I don't
that.
know,
I don't.
eBay.
Maybe you know somebody.
eBay. I'm sure there's a
I don't
collector.
know.
Rob says, "Ooh, is that a mixtape recorded from the radio?"
Yeah, probably. Probably way back in the day. This thing is super high tech over here. I mean, and the pause button is a slider. What? Come on, man. Come on. All right, so that's what's going on with that. Secret of Mana is out. Definitely check that out. Daniela is going to check that out for sure. Also, the Monster Hunter World original soundtrack is now available on the iTunes Store, featuring a total of 83. That's right. I said it. 83 tracks. Any comments and thoughts on that?
There's 83 songs in that Monster Hunter world. I
Apparently.
think that's the number
Yep.
one thing that I don't like is that there's so much dead audio. Like not dead space kind of in a way that there's like the music kind of bores me after a while and it kind of puts me to sleep. Like when you're on your boat and you're eating or, fabricating new armor or anything that you're doing, if you're not in action, it's so quiet. It kills me. So I
Hmm.
usually, when I'm playing it, I'll just have Spotify up and I'll just listen to music through there.
Okay.
Because unless I have something, it's just like me running around doing investigations and like, you know, picking up herbs and nuts and whatever's and bugs. I did not know there were 83 songs in there. I gotta go and listen to this. Like, where are these 83 songs that I'm missing?
That's a lot of tracks. You know what OST still stands out to me that really did well
What is
over
that?
time? The Soul Calibur games.
Soul Calibur and
Soul
Tekken have
Calibur
really
games.
great soundtracks.
Amazing. Amazing soundtracks. And see, now I'm all interested to go find them now. Think I have one or two Soul Calibur games on the shelf behind me, but outside of that, I think their soundtrack have been amazing over the years. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on with that. Okay, so we're approaching right now the last two main things, the headliners for this episode 390 of the show radio, theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. So a couple things have happened the last couple of days, Daniela.
I
We've
don't
made
know what you're talking
adjustments.
about.
We've applied to things. Um, we're trying to be diligent in our craft behind the scenes. And there's a big show to many. It's considered a big show coming up in June called E3, right?
Yeah,
So we applied to
it's
that.
little.
We applied to that. That's the Super Bowl. That's the I wouldn't say the Grand Slam, but that's the Wimbledon of our world. And we applied to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got some good news. We got some good news. And I know you were so elated, if that's the right word, I think, in context, excited, uh overjoyed of the response that we received from E3. So I'll let you go into that, and I'll sit back and just listen.
We're going to E3! Yeah! We're going to E3. We're going to E3. That's where we're going, and we'll see you soon.
That's the dance for that. Yay! Hey, that's the dance. Hey. Okay, so talk about the process, because I know we made adjustments, and I definitely want to talk about behind the scenes stuff. I know we really touched on it on episode 389 in terms of the process. I had you make some changes to your app to
Mm-hmm.
reflect things. I definitely want you to go into that for the individuals listening as well as those in the chat.
So the changes weren't lying. It was more of wasn't 100% sure what category we fit under, because we do, they have one for the media outlet for doing news, and which is what we do, and then they have one that's specifically for podcasts, which is also what we do. And it's a weird thin line, and I matched mine's to, because Andrew and I didn't apply exactly the same exact time. I think you did yours the morning of that it opened, right?
Correct.
And I did mine, I think, that afternoon. And so they weren't all matching, and we wanted to be, uniform. And all of the advice that we provided and mentioned to you guys, exactly pretty much what I did. As you know, that I've only been podcasting and I've been working with Andrew for 11 months. I think next month we make a year that I've been recording with you. And I don't have that same type of background and history and that repertoire that he has. But I did apply very nervously. I'm like, please let me be worthy enough. Please. And it was all very, very factual. I gave them exactly what they requested. I gave them my government ID, which I realized that my driver's license picture looks so terrible. And I'm like, well, good luck. Here you go. That's what you get. And I use that cam scanner app that Andrew mentioned our last show, because they require everything to be in a PDF. I don't have a PDF scanner or anything like that, but this app actually takes a picture and turns it into a PDF for you. So I submitted that, my business card, the same exact way, which the same business card that Andrew made for me last year. And I got my letter from Andrew saying that, this is my position. This is what I do for the show. There's no lies in there. This is exactly what it is. It wasn't overly flourished and embellished with I go and do all these things. It was very straightforward, very blunt, and that was that. And then we provided all the links.
I think I want to read that. Should we read that?
Yeah, go right ahead. Read it.
Hold on.
And then all of our links that we have for everything, which we provide to you guys. You can find all of that information on our website, theshowradio.info. To links to our iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. And I submitted it. It was 4 documents. And, just hope for the best. I wasn't as cool as Andrew, who got his response in less than 6 hours.
You are cool. Stop it.
They probably saw his application. Was like, oh, that's a cool cat right there. Automatically. But my application did, it did take longer. And that wait felt like forever. It really did. I was refreshing my email on my phone, on my computer, every hour. And I was like, oh, maybe a lot of applications. And I take that into consideration why it was a longer response, because I was a new applicant. And I kind of expect that. It's not to say that if you've been approved before, you'll automatically, be accepted. But you're a new name, you're a new email. They just want to, I'm sure there's some kind of, fact checking where they're like, oh, is this Andrew guy just trying to get his friend in for free or what? So I can understand why it took longer. It just felt like ages. And I think when I finally got that email, the approval, I was just waking up for work. This is how crazy I was about it. That's the first thing I would do in the morning, and I try not to do that.
Morning coffee.
I try not to check my phone first thing in the morning, but it is, and I saw it, and I screenshot it, and I sent it to Andrew. I got it. The original idea is that we were gonna wait for episode 390 to make the overall
that was the original plan.
That was, but I couldn't contain myself. I really couldn't.
I was like, now Daniela, we can wait and share with everybody. But so there was a clause there. But you have full permission to say whatever you want to say because I know you're excited about it.
And I was so excited. I could not contain myself because, like, this will be my second time attending. Last year when I got to go, I went under the gamer pass, which was still a great experience, and will still suggest to anybody who doesn't get approved for a media badge to take that leap and buy the gamer pass. Yes, right now it is $249, but if what you want to do is to be taken seriously as a podcast, as a news outlet, or whatever your goal is, that is a good investment for yourself. It is a good investment into what you want to do, because the relationships and the contacts that you make there, if you are smart, has no price value. It is exponentially great. Rob, TJ the ruiner of surprises. I know I'm terrible. You should see me when it comes to like birthday presents. I have to buy it the day before your birthday because I cannot hold it to myself, and I'm not lying about that. I'm really bad. But like last year, that was my number one goal. Was like, I want to be, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna do what I can, because I want to be able to earn that right to have a media badge, and to get that approval was just so incredibly enormous. And I just have to thank Andrew for it, because it wasn't for him, there's no way that I would be able to get there.
We wouldn't go.
That is true. That is very, very, very true. Because yes, you can apply for it under a Twitch and YouTube
Word.
request, but good luck to you.
Good luck on that, right?
Good luck on that one.
Because they're denying people left and right now.
They are like.
All right, so before you continue, Danielle, let me just read this letter.
Okay, go ahead.
To the wonderful people listening, as well as the individuals in chat, right? Okay, so my thing now is, I should be an encouragement to you, because I'm not a big name per se of the IGNs, the GameStops, or anything like that. Yet we're still in a position where we can provide value at a big show like that, right? So Google Docs is free. I use Google Docs, which is a free document. Okay, and answer to your question, Aaron, we're just excited that we're going. Okay, so we're just there.
I didn't even think about the stuff that's gonna be there. I'm just excited.
We're not even there yet. We're just excited that we're going. Okay, so the letter reads, it was a template that Google has on their platform, and I'm sharing this because I wish someone shared this with me when I was first starting out. And that's really one of the reasons why we're documenting these things, because I want to let you know that whether you're using the fanciest program for your audio editing and your video software, that doesn't mean anything. They're looking for a particular criteria of something, and we still don't know what that is, right? But we're using a lot of free software and we're approved. So it's not how much money you spend on your equipment that's going to get you into these things. It's whatever they're looking for. So the letter reads, has my name on top, address information, phone number, email, then there's a space, the date, which is February 6, 2018. That's when I was submitted, a space in bold, E3 media registration team. And this is the letter. It says, "Dear E3 media registration team, comma." That's it right there. That's the start.
We don't know who it is.
Yeah, right. I, Andrew, editor-in-chief of the show radio, will be responsible for podcast and video production for our brand. Okay. My editor, Daniela, okay, full name, government name there, will be accompanying me. I can't even say that word right now, as well with the production of the content that we capture during E3 2018. If you have any questions in regards to this request for media approval, please do not hesitate to reach me at, number redacted there. We've enjoyed attending your event in recent years, and we look forward to hearing from you regarding our application. Sincerely, Digital Signature, Andrew Alliance, editor in chief. That letter was done in Google Docs. Okay. So I don't know how fancy people are getting with their stuff. That was the letter. I'll even post that if you guys want to, copy that for your future stuff. So was it the letter that worked? I don't know. Was it the podcast links and stuff that we showed? I don't know. Was it the fact that they saw both of our names on the iTunes, on the Google Plays, on the Spotify's and stuff like that, which was a recent edit, which I thought I had in there. I don't know, but I'm a man of faith, which many of you guys know when you listen to the show or hear me talk about different things. I believe that it was our time to go. It was definitely our time to go as a team, and that's pretty much how that played out. Any comments, thoughts on that, Danielle? Continue.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it wasn't an over embellished letter at all. It was just it is what it is, and sure that wait took forever, and I was like always on eggshells. It's not like I lost sleep over it,
Yeah,
but
you did.
I didn't lose sleep over it, and the thing is that I was more accepting that I wasn't gonna be approved for it. Like I kind of accepted in my mind, like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to buy a gamer pass, which is fine as well, and which I was gonna do anyways if I got denied. Um, but if I did get denied, it just means like, okay, well, I just have to keep working. I wasn't gonna take it with a bad stride
Okay,
because
so
to
let's talk
automatically
about
assume that I would get it, I think would be too big of an ego.
Yeah, that would be for the both of us, right? Because that's just what it is. Okay, so take for instance, that was quickly done on within a few days, right? Whether it was the same day or within a couple of days. I applied for PAX and they denied me almost like 48 hours later. What does that mean? Right? We don't always get every event. So why would PAX deny and E3 approve? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I'm sure it's a different team that does the application stuff for PAX than it is for E3, obviously, right? Different, PR company or public relations or whatever the case might be. Who makes those decisions? I don't know. But I think the rejection of that is setting me up for something greater. That's how I look at it now, right? So because that's the case with this particular thing, for whatever reason, PAX has denied me the stuff since we're documenting here for the last 5-6 years. Every year I applied to PAX. That's been a denial for the last 5-6 years. Same thing for Comic-Con in New York. It doesn't matter that I'm a train ride away from them. I haven't gone to Comic-Con in the last 5, 6, maybe more. Right? I don't know what that means, but E3, it's been a thing, thank God, the last 4 years. One way or another, I've been there. Right?
Mm.
And it's looking really dope this year because we're going as a team and we're gonna rock out. So we're just excited that we're going. That's where we're at with that. We're excited we're going. So we wanted to share that with you. That's the update on that. That's the stuff with the letter. We use free software to record. We use the platforms that we have available to us to create content. We use the Twitch. We use the YouTube. We use what's available. And when the companies ask for a media kit, we put all that stuff in a document and we send it to them with free stuff. So all the people who are like, I need the most expensive stuff, I should be proof to you that you don't need the most expensive stuff. It could be done. I'm sharing it willingly because what I realize is only 2% of people will take the information and run with it. The other 98 will still spectate and watch. Sadly, I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. All right, next thing we got, Daniela,
Yes.
that movie we saw recently.
The one with the cat?
The one with the big black cat, exactly. So that thing, I definitely want to hear your thoughts first on that. I guess because we have some individuals in the chat who didn't see it yet.
Okay,
We're
so
going to
I
do
should
a
change. I
spoiler-free
realized I
option.
should change the caption on this on spoiler edition. We're gonna be like non-spoiler edition. Non-spoiler.
Non-spoiler edition.
Non-spoiler. Non-spoiler edition. Okay?
This is
Non-spoiler.
my
This
cue
is
to
for Trey.
leave. Yeah. So
we
go
will
ahead.
we'll,
Go ahead.
we'll
Talk to us
dance
about it.
around this. Um I teared up. Happy tears.
Aw.
Not really sad tears. I teared up. It was beautiful. So the too long don't listen. Um believe the hype. Go watch it.
Mm.
You will not regret it. And I will very, very easily say that this movie is my movie of the year. And there's tons of movies that I am looking forward to watching this year. But this one, I couldn't help but smile and just tear up and all these different things. And it was just beautiful.
Mm.
Everything about it. And um I will admit, like the beginning, it was a little bit slow. But you got to remember that this is building the foundation of who Black Panther is and how you're going to relate to him and to his origin story. So I will say that. And again, we're navigating, no spoilers here, okay?
Navigation.
And for anybody that is listening to, we will not give spoilers away. Um, I'm not disappointed at all. I couldn't
Okay.
have imagined or hoped for any better of a movie than what they gave us.
I got questions for you.
What's up?
Okay. Where did you see it? And what was your demographic like? Was it mixed? I know you're in Hawaii and everything. Wh- Who was
So,
there? Who showed up? Who pulled up to the movie theater? Like, hey, yo, we need to see this joint.
very, very mixed. So, we only have one real movie theater here, and it's Kukui Grove. And it is a very OG movie theater. So if you ever come to Kauai, don't expect no like amazing 3D, like prime leather recliner couches whatsoever. But it's still not a bad theater. It's still better than most that I've been to in some questionable areas. And it was a very mixed audience. So it wasn't completely sold out. I know that in the rows that were around us, there was probably like one or two empty chairs. And the immediate 3 or 4 rows that were in front and behind us that I noticed. But it was still really well packed. And I happen to know the people that were sitting behind me in the first place. One of them being he's been like really up to date and keeping up with all the Marvel movies. He's not a guy, but he's like super into the movies. And then his friend, not so much. He had a lot of questions. I think that was like the number one thing that was kind of annoying me. Is like he's one of those people in the movies where he's like, "Who's that? What are they doing? Why are they doing that?" And you're just kind of like, "Really, bro?
Mm.
Come on." So that there's that contrast. And then when I was standing in the concession line, there was a mom who brought her son and the son's friend, and it was very obvious that these kids did not know who Black Panther was, or even that he was a superhero, or how he fit into the Marvel universe whatsoever. My son fit into that category. He didn't even know who Black Panther was, and he completely forgot that he was in Civil War. Like how? But and then you had your diehard fans, which you can obviously tell because they were dressed up with their kids, and that was absolutely adorable. But at work, when I know that I did not see any of my coworkers there, but these like 48 hours or whatever that I was stuck at work for the last 4 days, I felt like I was living in the Twilight Zone because I was asked, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see Black Panther. I'm so hyped." And they're like, "Why?" Like, what? Because
What you mean?
it's
What you
amazing. It's
mean?
like this
Why?
all black cast, and it's superheroes. Like it should just be automatically because it's superheroes. That's to do with Marvel. Let's continue on the story, and they're all like, but they're a gang. I'm like sitting there like that's a little bit racist and profiling because it's just an all black cast. You just think that they're a gang. He's like, yeah. I'm like, where are we going here? I was like so incredibly lost, and he was like, oh, where does it take place? In Wakanda. And they're like, oh,
Wakanda.
and then they're like, oh, but when? Now? Like, yeah, but that was in like the 70s or 80s. I was so lost. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they look at me and they're like, I'm like, oh, the Black Panther Party, that's completely different. That is so completely different. And I'm like,
Wow.
and then I was like, and first of all, they're not a gang, okay? But they didn't even know what the movie was about. Some of them didn't even hear about it. And I'm like, what rock are you living under?
Did they leave work?
I don't know. But they were confused. And here's the thing that threw me off is they didn't realize that they were black superheroes. And I'm like, they don't watch comics. They don't really pay attention to all of those things. I can understand. And though the age range at work is from about 30 to 70. And I would think that closer to my age, in the 30 range, that they would know, they would pay attention. But no. I was so bizarre about that. But because they learned that there was, I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll go and watch it. I'm like, okay. Can live with that. But that was the same thing that happened at the movie theater. Black superhero. Like, they can be superheroes. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know where you're going with this, but open up your mind and just we'll watch the film.
Open up your mind. Which pill, red or blue?
Blue.
I don't
But
which one does what?
Watching it was a very respectful crowd. There was quite a few people, but they weren't.
Okay, so you said mix. What did you have in there, in the crowd? What
Okay, are you
flavors
asking?
had?
Oh, you're
Here
looking.
comes the brand new flavor in it. What kind of
Oh,
flavors
you're
you
looking
had?
for ethnicities. Oh, well, we live in Hawaii. There's a lot of Asians. A lot of Asian Filipinos.
Yeah, all
There is-
Hawaiians.
Yeah, pretty much. So a lot of Asians because we have a
different
mix.
shades?
Yeah.
Were they segregated by shades or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
Yeah, it's like a huge mix. See, no mas no more. He lives on Kauai as well. You know, this mix. It's Hawaii. There isn't. I can tell you. Okay, so here's the weird thing about Hawaii is that we don't have. I think I only know of 2 black guys that live in Hawaii.
What? That's
And
strange.
yeah, one is a friend of a friend's, and one. Okay, I'm sorry. Three guys. 3 guys. And 2 of them work.
3 black guys in the entire island.
No mas, no more. Please let me know if I'm completely
3
wrong
black
on our
guys.
Kauai demographic of the African American population in Hawaii, or at least on Kauai. But I didn't see any of them in the movie theater with me.
My stomach can't take it.
But I don't think I saw.
So they were all at the theater?
No, they weren't. The thing is, the one black guy that I work with, he usually does. He usually goes to openings and stuff like that, but he wasn't there that night, so he probably went the following night. I usually see him in passing.
So you had the 2 no mas no more. So the 1 guy. So that accounts for all 3 people that are black on the entire island.
But you can
Man.
see how he only knows 2 black guys and I know 3. On a population that's somewhere around like 65,000.
That's crazy.
And so there was no black guys in the movie theaters when I went.
None.
None.
Huh. Okay. And
There's
it was not sold out, you said.
It was not sold out, but there's still quite a few people in there. I was told, because I went to the matinee I went to the matinee. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think they had
How
it.
much
They
did you
have a
pay?
showing, $6 a ticket,
$6. Okay.
and I think there's a showing every 3 hours starting from 1. And then I don't remember what time the last showing is.
What
One
did you
full.
expect going to that theater? Did you have like a particular vibe that you had in mind, like going to it? Did you buy your tickets in
Uh,
advance?
no, no, I didn't buy my tickets in advance. I did. There's nothing like that. So I believe in Hawaii. We're somewhat like some people think we're racist, but we're not racist against black people.
So how come you
This is
only let
touchy.
3 black people go
We
in
don't
Maui?
let 3 black people live on Kauai.
Oh my goodness!
No, Mazamar,
Only
no,
three
I didn't
black
go. I
people
went
got a chance to
yesterday.
go.
I went yesterday.
Okay.
Um,
First showing, or you
it
gonna
was
go back for more?
no, no, no. Oh, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow again.
Got it.
I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow because I went and had a mom and son day with my son all day yesterday, so I went with him, and then I'm gonna go with my boyfriend again tomorrow because he didn't even get to watch it.
Very
He
cool.
works at the movie theater. He doesn't even get to watch it. So
Very cool.
he has the option to watch it for free, obviously. But since we're gonna go and watch it together, we'll just make a whole day of it. And I'm excited. I'm super excited to be able to watch it again.
Okay. So culturally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
what theme from the movie, any part of the movie, spoke to you the most?
Gosh, dancing around this so that it's not a spoiler.
Absolutely.
This is hard.
What theme from the motion picture spoke to you the most? So you could pick anything from the technology aspect of it, right? The overall arching message, right? Unifying in nature, if you want to talk about that. Talk about the garments. You could talk about anything there if you want to go.
This is gonna be weird because this is what I thought of, and I think me explaining it to other people, I'm the only one that can actually relate to it because everybody else gets super super confused by it. Um,
Okay.
Lion King.
Okay.
So it's no, has nothing to do just because it's cats. Um, it's that
Okay.
whole thing of you have this prince or this guy who's wanting to fill, you know, their father's shoes to be that amazing man and to fill into it.
Simba. Yeah.
But how to do that? And I think every man um wants to grow up to be as great of their father is.
No.
Prince, king, whatever it is. Well, okay, in a healthy relationship, ideally, okay? In a healthy father-son relationship.
Ah! Okay,
if
carry
you
on.
if you were lucky enough that even if it's not your father, a good male figure in your life that you look up to and
Okay, carry on.
you want to fill their shoes and you're just they pass away unexpectedly and there you are and you're left unsure on how to do that, and then
Right.
you have someone else that's like, you don't deserve that, bro,
Mm.
but you still want to prove yourself. It's just that triumph, that feeling reminded me of Lion King. Not only that, the
Yeah.
opening did too.
Yeah, it was got more? Any questions for Daniela?
That is so hard.
Chat?
You don't ask me no questions because I'm trying not to spoil things here, okay?
You're doing so great. You're
No,
doing
God.
so great.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go turn on my
What's
light. But go
Nomad
ahead.
saying?
I'm gonna turn on my light because it's getting dark here.
What's Nomad saying? Oh,
Don't be
what are you
asking me
doing?
questions. I don't want to spoil
You're
it for
gonna get.
anybody. I'm gonna hurt.
I
know.
think Danielle's gonna go get the black guys and bring them on the show. There are only three. that are on the island. Um, yeah. So yeah, I think you're doing great without spoiling it.
It was good, and it's funny that I say that it's Lion King. That's kind of the theme that I felt, and it stuck with me because it's Marvel and Disney owns Marvel. Good job, Disney.
Okay, so I haven't seen it, nor have I even to having anything spoiling it, so I don't know anything, but I can imagine that Ryan Coogler is going to make the most character-driven Marvel to date. Uh, Fruitvale and Creed are prime examples. Okay, Fruitvale, I'm assuming that's one of his movies, and also Creed, which is another, and the third being this one, which is Black Panther. Any questions for Daniela? Chat? I think she's doing
Man,
fantastic.
it
I have
was
thoughts,
amazing.
but my thoughts
What I want to know what
are
your thoughts. I want to know what your feelings are. You have to answer your own
hey.
questions too. Don't leave me
Arr.
like you go next.
Oh, you got questions?
No, I
What
want
type
to
of?
know what theme
All
you
right.
were going on that really struck and
So
spoke to you.
so let's start with the fact that I seldom leave Alliance home theaters. I don't leave these walls. Okay. Let's start there. Okay. And the fact that a movie made me leave the comfort of this bat cave to go out in public and interact with other human beings, okay, that in and of itself is rare. Okay. So we did maybe 2 days, 3 days in advance, ordered the tickets, ordered by meaning going to physically pick them up because this movie theater did not do the Fandango thing. So we had to go get them. $9 each, three people. It's like 27 bucks or whatever. So we picked that up, and we knew the demographic of that area was mostly Caucasian people. We knew that. We intentionally went in that area because we knew that the movie theater would not be sold out at this particular theater intentionally. Okay. So we go there, and I don't know if I'll fill in gaps if I need to fill in the gaps. So we get there Friday, 6:50 show PM. Okay. And this town called Port Jefferson, okay, New York, Suffolk County. So we get there, and good vibes, nothing crazy, nothing off the wall or anything like that. So I'm comparing which I don't go to movie theaters often, but anytime I go into like a home theater space, I'm comparing things I could do to upgrade my system. That's what I'm doing. So I'm technically taking notes of the whole thing. So we'll get to the movie in a second. So we get there, pay for the tickets, or show our tickets or whatever. But when I got back to the movie theater after I purchased the tickets a couple of days in advance, there was no one for me to give my ticket to going into the theater. It was just like a walk-in thing. We used an exit door to walk into the theater space. So we're in the open space and people are getting their tickets, but there's no ticket person to take your thing. So you're just walking into hey, we're just going here. So we just space. So we walk into the space, standard theater, speakers on the wall, projectors on the back, big screen in the front, stadium. I don't know if it was stadium seating or not. Maybe it was. Plain seats, cup holders do not raise. Okay, so just basic as it gets for $9, right? So we're in this piece. So there was a row of Caucasian children in front of us. Okay. So they're playing the popcorn game. Okay. So Blake, Dylan, Connor, and Wesley in the front of us. Okay. They're playing the popcorn game. So they're throwing popcorn at each other, whatever. And then so the mom comes out of nowhere. Now, guys. Okay. If you guys keep it up, I'm gonna have to come sit next to you. Okay. And amazingly enough, Blake and Connor and Wesley and the entire crew, they stopped. So I was like, okay, this is great. This is great. So this experience was very, very interesting seeing that. Okay. Now, if it was a black family, that conversation wouldn't have gone like that. Okay. It would have been something more like, get your behind in the seat or something crazy like that. Okay. It would have been a completely different reaction or whatever. But anyway, whatever. So they calm down, right? Everyone's sitting down, everyone's prepared for the movie. And I was really impressed of how quiet they got once the stuff started rolling. Very impressive. And a theater that is filled with mostly African Americans, depending on the area, not every movie theater that's filled with African Americans, they're going to wild out. That's not true. But sometimes they do. But I was impressed. These guys, my Caucasian community members, okay, everyone settled down. We're watching the movie. Pretty much quiet the entire movie. Okay, so I'm watching the movie, very entertained by everything I'm seeing on the screen. In the beginning, this particular theater, I should have mentioned it to them before I left. It was like a little dark. The brightness needed to go up a little bit in the beginning. I don't know what was going on back there, but outside of all that, by way of experience, the movie everyone needs to see. So during the movie, these guys sit behind me, and then the guy tells me, "Yo, dog, did I miss anything?" Okay, so I don't know what kind of dog I was, DOG, or DO double G, or DAWG. I don't know which dog he meant. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, fam, you didn't miss anything. It's just getting good, right? So boom, whatever. He left me alone, and then they ended up leaving between the movie. I don't know, maybe halfway in the movie they left or whatever.
What?
But as far as yeah, I don't know what happened with that. So we finished watching the entire movie, and there's a clapping session. Everyone claps. I know that's a thing, but it was very unified in this community of people, and I really appreciated that. So we did all that stuff, and then we leave, and then I saw the three black people from Hawaii at that theater. And that's it, folks. That's the end of my story. Okay. Now, but overall, the movie was really great. And I had a great time, culturally speaking, technologically speaking. It moved me and it made me sad. So let's talk about the sad part. Let's talk about the sad part because I feel like it shouldn't have taken this movie to get everybody up in arms by way of a celebration, right? That makes me sad. That I think that by culture, ethnicity, color of skin, however you want to break that down, are we that deprived that we're excited over this thing as a spectacle, right? Did it have to take this, right? So you have the high stuff, yeah, cracking jokes and stuff like that. Had a lot of fun, talked about Wesley, Dylan, Connor, and all those guys. That's not their real names, obviously. But are we that deprived or depraved that this is what is going to make us that excited about something? So that part turned me off, right? The movie itself, fantastic. But that part really was a turn off for me. But overall, I would go see it again multiple times. And that's only going to happen once the movie comes to Alliance Home Theaters. And that's what I'm waiting for. But I do plan to see it again at home. So I'm waiting for that. But so no spoilers. You need to see it. And it was interesting to hear different demographics, different radio shows have call-in sessions of who was going to see it, and the demographic of the people calling was very, very encouraging. A lot of people are going because they realize that this is a monumental moment for everyone who understands the cultural, not just the implications of the movie itself, but what it represents to everybody who decides to see it, with all the themes represented. So many themes in a movie represented. Once you see it, you'll see exactly what I mean. And that's a spoiler-free thing. That's my update on
um,
that.
it's kind of funny that you mentioned so a couple things. So go back to your first question. Themes. I loved all of the women in that. All of them. I think that was the
Absolutely.
most tasteful way to represent, other than the Amazons and Wonder Woman. But that was by far the most tasteful way to show a strong, intelligent woman. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a black woman. It's great. It was a plus as a black woman. But just in general, a great representation of a strong female. And their garments wasn't, they weren't just walking around, running around half naked. It was very nice garbs, very empowering garbs. So that's the number one thing. And I don't think that's a spoiler. There are screenshots available on the internet. You can go and check those out. So I don't think that's a spoiler, but I think it was incredibly tasteful and it was very respectful in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
there's that. Now, to go on your comment about, I guess it took this movie to for people to reach this point to celebrate it. Coming from Hawaii, um, it's a great thing to live here, and it's not. And in terms of obviously going off of, we have only X amount of black people who live in our community. It's not to say that we have anything against it. Well, okay, the three that I know, and apparently the two that No Mas No More knows, there's five. Five. We're going up there, okay? We're working on it. um, I have nothing. I was never ever raised to be racist like that. Now, I made a comment earlier that in Hawaii, there's a lot of people or tourists or people who come and visit and they feel that we are racist. And I said we're not racist against black people. Well, a lot of people are kind of somewhat racist against white people. And I will say that it's a very open thing, and there's YouTube videos and there's comments and there's forums about this issue. Um, but I think the biggest thing I noticed overall, I mean, yeah, there's people who didn't know what Black Panther was, but the ones that did, or they don't understand what the big deal was about having an all black cast. And it wasn't because they were disappointed. I feel that we are such a secluded state that we don't necessarily deal or see that type of discrimination in a way, because we are a mixed pot state. We have so many different ethnicities, and we recognize that we are different, and we respect our cultural differences no matter what you are. And for my friends that are like, I just don't get why it's a big deal. Um, because it's great that they have this all black cast, but I think I can speak for myself, where because we don't discriminate against African Americans or black people, it's like we already recognize that they have that respect from us. I'm not sure if I make that clear. Like I'm glad I understand what it means culturally, but outside of Hawaii, I feel like my family, my friends, hardly any of them ever left the state. And like when President Obama became president, they were like, majority wasn't happy because he was black. Majority were happy because he's from Hawaii. His color, his race had nothing to do with it. It was a representation of Hawaii. So for me growing up here, it has nothing to do with race. It's just like I'm glad you have my respect for it, but it's almost kind of lost in a way, and I'm not sure if I'm translating that message quite clearly. It wasn't the fact that yes, we have this amazing cast. It was like, oh, okay, well, you have this awesome movie now. So I can almost see where you're coming from in a sense, like yeah, it took a while, but at the same time, I feel like I almost don't have that same impact on it.
Okay. All right. Can I share something else?
Yeah.
That was a turn off.
What?
So during the promo, I guess somewhere between Wednesday and Friday, leading up into the I wouldn't say the peak of promotion, because the movie is still getting a lot of press and a lot of buzz or whatever. There were tweets going out of people saying, "Hey, I went to this Black Panther screening or whatever, and I got jumped by a whole bunch of African Americans, and this is my picture, and it's showing, pictures of somebody who's bruised, and then when you reverse look up the picture, it ends up being a domestic violence person who used makeup in the ad for the picture. So people were going back and forth on social media posting these negative things about interactions with African Americans at screenings that were false, right? So I'm like, why do we need to do that? You know what I mean? Like, so you have things like that. So turn s- things like that were just a little bit irritating, right? And I'm like, okay, so you have Twitter police now, okay, looking at all these different pictures. One of them was a who apparently got hit in the face with a broken bottle or something like that. And they had to reverse look up that to see that it was an old picture from like months or whatever years ago. One was the domestic violence ad lady, which wasn't real bruises. It was makeup to look like bruises, but someone was trying to use that picture as, something that really happened recently. So on the onset, if you're looking at this stuff, you're like, oh, this is why we can't have stuff like this because these whatever expletive you want to use can't even act right when they get a moment to shine. We shouldn't have let them get a moment to shine because this is what happens. They can't even behave, right? And I think that sets, you know, I wouldn't say biases. I think, yeah, and people are trained to think like that. I mean, even when I used to speak from experience, people are trained to think the way they think as it relates to other individuals that they don't understand or take the time to understand, right? They're trained to do that. So, having lived in a melting pot as a Brooklyn native, I've seen a whole bunch of different people. I've grown up with a whole bunch of different people. Heading to Georgia for a while, spending a couple of years there between summer of 97 into 2000, a couple of years there. That was just an interesting experience for me. Like going to the high school there at the time or whatever, and just the way the people treated individuals that they didn't understand. But see, but I have seen a different side of it because I was around a whole bunch of different individuals. So it was easy for me to navigate through that, but it was still difficult because there's just different things there. So there was a lot of different emotions with me in the movie, and I think we were doing a pretty good job not spoiling it. I have a lot to say about this subject, but I'd rather not hear. I mean, questions, feel free to ask questions. I mean, I don't mind questions. I'm not also what I don't want to do if it seems like I'm not picking sides or anything like that. And I hope it doesn't sound like I'm doing that or I'm pointing to a particular side because of experience. I could only speak from the experiences that I've had. I know that there's a lot of things I use as comic relief, especially when I was talking about Connor and Wesley and Dylan and the popcorn stuff. But you kind of understood exactly what I was saying in the mix of that, right? But there's just things that are uncomfortable, right? But I mean, I don't mind questions. Rav, I'm not sure exactly, which group you represent by way of demographic or anything like that. But I'm always up to conversations like this, which is weird because we don't usually have the conversations here. But Wakanda would be a great place to move.
Wakanda
It
forever.
would be. It would be. And I think that what Wakanda represents, we can have that. And I think that was a beautiful thing for the movie itself. What's No Mas No More saying?
It's interesting and very sad that there was this kind of reaction in 2018, seeing that this character has always been a strong black character that was created literally 2 years after the Civil Rights Act.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
it is. And I want to clarify something. So when I say that we're racist, I mean I like white people, okay? I'm not racist in that sense, and it just happens to be that they are Caucasian. It's more of having a problem or prejudice against personalities. And you can be any race for that. It's a whole Hawaii mentality thing. So,
See, I'm interested in hearing what Rav has to say now. I'm like,
me too.
you got a lot to say. What you got to say? I want to hear it now. I'm all curious
And
because this is
it
the last
is,
topic of the show before we close. So
yeah,
if
it
you
is
guys
the
have
last
any
topic.
last comments and stuff like that, we're about to wrap this baby in a bow and send it to Wakanda. Maybe.
My complexion is on the level of Casper the Ghost, and I grew up in a mixed neighborhood, a near 50-50 mixed school, is what Rob said.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Dope.
I think
Different
people
experience.
just love to create hate. I don't know why, but there's people who just need that hate, that they don't want to see anybody succeed or any community succeed or be seen in some good light. And it could even be against their own community. I just don't understand why some people like just create hate. And that's where I think those Twitter feeds come from.
Okay, so can I share some stuff? 'Cause, this may be a little bit on the deep end, but we might as well.
Go ahead.
I think depending on the conversation that I have and the way I speak, people for a good portion of maybe a couple of years, depending on who I'm talking to, they thought I was white. I don't know what that means, but that's interesting to me. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's a there's a certain complexion that goes with a vocal tone in this world. Apparently, to some there is, right? And I think that a lot of individuals, it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, so this is hidden biases or things like that. This is a stretch. This is a stretch. You don't have to agree, but it wouldn't surprise me if people judge the show before they listen to it because of before Daniela came on. I'll say that before Daniela came on, that individuals would judge the show based on who it represented by way of color before they listen to the content. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. You don't have to agree. That's a stretch. Okay, so you have that. There are individuals who listen not because of me, but for Daniela. That's a stretch. It happens. I know it happened. Right. So you have to understand that there's so many different things that we have to juggle, period, as people, not just, one demographic. Some demographics never experience that, right? But it's one of those it's those things that happens, and we were trained as a people, I'll say, that it takes us twice as hard to be on the first floor to get the same level of respect than some other groups. I don't know. I don't know if that's true for every other demographic. I doubt that that's something that other demographic have to hear or experience or anything like that. But it's just the truth, right? It's not my truth. It's the truth as we see it playing out, right, in the world that we live in. So I'm not completely closed off for conversation, which is why I was saying, Rav, I really want to hear what you have to say in regards to the things that we're talking about, because it's rare that we actually go down this route of conversation, especially what we usually stick to when we talk about the stuff on the show. So what's Rob saying?
I will. Rob says, "Oh, and about the racist trash who posts face pictures just irritates him to no end." He also says, "I will just judge you on important things, like what games you like." I respect that.
Hey, but
You
that's what it
know,
is.
it is what it is, and the thing is, I don't think that actually just only applies to your ethnicities, because I get the same comment for when I talk to somebody or our customers on the phone or even through email. I have this habit of leaving out or omitting my last name on my emails at work, especially when it's conducting businesses with other companies. Um, when they talk to me on the phone, I'm obviously very, very professional. I will talk to them, and I'm not going to talk to them like they're my best friends from like high school or something. And when they send out somebody, to be here, they will look for what they assume is somebody that's Caucasian. And what they get and they see me, it's always like, oh. And I always ask, like, what's that O for? And I'll try to ask in a very friendly way, but I already know what it is. And they'll be like, I'll be honest, I thought you were white.
Hmm.
And it's just like, what? Here's the thing that I never get an answer for. What made you assume I was white?
Because your vocal tone matched the.
And then I just like in my head, I was like, okay, so I'm not white. I'm Filipino Chinese. What tone, what dialect, or what is it that you think and associate so that you would know that I was Asian?
Mm.
Because I can tell you that only my grandparents have a Filipino accent. Other than that, my parents, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, no Filipino accents. They might have a
Mm.
Hawaiian pidgin accent that we get rid of when when we're not in a social setting, but um that we were raised to talk proper English, and that was it. I don't know.
So
Even my
okay, so
Chinese grandma doesn't have a Chinese accent.
that's an interesting thing, right? Because I remember a conversation to Minji Chang, who was on the show. Shout
Mhm.
outs to her doing dope things. One of the things that she says is, "My people." This is Minji Chang speaking, not me. My people. They're one of the most, if not the most, sexualized or chased after with fetishes on the planet.
It's true.
That's what she said. I didn't say that. That's what she said. I'm just telling you what I heard that she said. Okay, and she's Asian. I think she's Korean specifically.
And
To
it is
be
very,
exact.
very true. And and I think when she says my people, it was more to the entire Asian community.
Correct.
And I think the Asian community is very over sexualized. And I don't know exactly where that comes from. Because I think so someone tried to explain it to me of like, oh, it's like erotic and it's exotic that you have these Asian things and you have these different cultures. I'm like, well, there's a lot of different cultures. Are they exotic too? I don't get it. It's
It's one of those things.
it is, and it's very very weird. It's very bizarre, but it's the one that I don't get. I miss,
So,
although it's been tried to be explained to me.
so Black Panther. This
Yes.
movie is on track to be. It's one of the biggest movies. Top three biggest opening weekend movies of all time, according to No Mas No More, which, according to the number that we saw, 387 million. That's
That's a
million.
lot of mms.
That's a lot of up in that piece. Millions, baby. So they're doing all that. So congratulations to them, obviously, for putting out such a wonderful project, motion picture, inspirational film that's going to transcend generations and cultures, that kind of a thing. So that's all I have. Daniela, any last comments in the chats or anything like that? Let us know before we close out.
um, if
Anything you
you're
got
watching it,
before we close?
yeah, just one thing. If you're watching the movie, there are two credit scenes, 2 of them.
Good call. Good
Stay
call.
stay in your seat and watch them. I still don't understand why people leave. Why? Why do you leave? I don't know how long has Marvel been working to condition you to stay in your
Absolutely.
chairs and watch their after credit scenes. And they're good too.
They're really good.
Stay in them. If you see somebody getting up, you're like, bro, sit your ass down.
Don't go anywhere. What's up, hundreds? Thanks for showing up and hanging out with us in the chats. We're about to close out. Any comments before we leave? Anyone before we get out of here? Episode 390 has been a fantastic episode. Left all the promos and stuff towards the end. I think that's how I want to roll now from now on. I think it just makes sense because we add value all the way through to get to a place where you can actually say, hey, you know what, this show wasn't that bad. It was actually fantastic. So Danielle's going to give us all the closeout stuff for sure. Daniela, please close us
Me.
out.
Me? Do you know how many times I
Word.
fumble this? A lot.
You want me to do it? Let me see.
All right, you do it this time.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. You're the
See?
seasoned. Show me the
feel
way.
Show you the way. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for listening to this episode of The Show Radio. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You can always check us out, theshowradio.info. See us there. Check out all the stuff we're doing on the blogs and all the postings there. Feedback and tips, community at theshowradio.info. Definitely do that. Never miss a show, theshowradio.info/listen. Do that for sure. Twitch.tv/Show Radio Live. That's where we are right now in the chats. You're listening to that in the podcast. Definitely check us out, theshowradio.info/listen. That's it we have for episode 390. You guys have been great. Danielle's great. You're great. All the chat is great. And we're out. You want to do it? You want to try that?
No, it's okay. I see you flexing already over there. You flexing all those years of experience over me. I got it. I got it. It's okay. I see you.
We haven't done it in such a long time. But yeah. So guys, thanks so much for listening and watching. We really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
Laters.